Hello! You might be wondering why I've gathered you all here.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I just got like an invitation that said, "Yo, rock up."
I did send the Addy and you did respond, which is good for you. You see, me being the absolute notorious person I am, I've gathered all you here for a specific purpose.
Domination?
No. That's next week's agenda. No,
Okay,
at this time.
Bro, why am I even
Start with
here?
Denmark.
Something even worse. You see, I have come up with a surefire way to make as much money as possible with minimum effort. You can even call it a infinite money glitch.
OnlyFans?
No, that's no. Well, that's plan B. This doesn't work. And plan C is Foot Finder, but we don't talk about that. I've decided to start a podcast.
Ah,
The dumbest I've ever heard.
so you've turned into one of them, huh?
What do you mean? It's a. What do you mean? It's a perfect plan.
First, you're gonna start talking about alpha male shit.
No.
Fucking start t-shirts.
You
and
see,
shit.
we're not gonna focus on anything too serious. We're gonna be focusing on variety. I know, completely unheard of. Such a rare niche I've put myself in.
Variety. Make a rainbow appear.
Variety. But now, I have a few topics here that I don't mind discussing with you lot. But before that, is there anything of recent note or anything just on your mind that you guys want to talk about?
Nothing in particular. Deltarune came out today.
Yeah, Deltarune did come out
So did
today,
the
chapters
Switch
3
too.
and 4. And
I don't
the
want Big
Switch-
Disney to come after me, bro. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
The Switch 2 did come out today, and we have opinions, but you know,
Okay. Bring it.
perhaps that is best.
We have empty wallets.
Recorded.
I mean, look,
They're not
I'm-
empty, but I'm not paying.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the new Mario Kart. It's been like a decade
I
since
would-
we got a new one.
I would love to play that.
It has been a decade, hasn't it? Fuck.
Yeah, Mario Kart
yeah.
8 is like super old, bro.
Speaking of mascot kart racers, apparently SpongeBob's a part of the Sonic kart racing one.
Yeah, I saw
Aw.
that one. There's so many different
They-
like characters actually.
SpongeBob
Kind of
can't drive.
ridiculous.
SpongeBob can't drive a boat, so they gave him a car instead, and apparently it worked.
No.
Yeah.
You see, SpongeBob can only drive if he's blindfolded, or if he's going backwards.
Yeah, so what they did is that they carried him to do laser
Or if
eye
it's a
surgery,
burger.
but fucked it up.
They purposely blinded him so he can drive better.
But yeah, that is such a wild character to add to Sonic Racing.
Does that mean that SpongeBob is canonically path of the Sonic universe now, or?
I guess so.
I think it's more or less a kind of Mario Kart situation where it's like, all right, everybody, get in here. Don't care if you're a villain.
It's also
Don't care
just-
where you're from. Zelda,
Don't keep your-
yeah, shit, I guess. Get in here.
It's also
Foul
the
off of
fact
that
that
one racetrack.
there's a few actual very popular Sonic characters that are in it.
Yeah.
Mostly from the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's fucking, oh my god, is it Mighty?
Okay. Oh yeah, Mighty the Echidna. He's not from the comics. He's actually from the games.
Yep.
Is he an echidna?
No, not an Echidna.
Yes.
Armadillo.
Armadillo, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, there's only one Echidna. There's this whole thing going on with that.
So
Actually, there's two
apparently-
echidnas.
Apparently,
Sorry.
from the thing I saw online, it's SpongeBob, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Avatar, Knights, and
Oh, it's just-
Minecraft.
Nickelodeon
I
stuff.
think it's
plus
a
few
less of a
extra
Sonic
It's-
thing.
No,
And
it's
Sega.
100% Sonic because
Are we
it's Sonic
neglecting to hear
Crossworlds.
Minecraft?
No, I heard the Minecraft. That's what I said. It's Sonic plus a few
So-
extra stuff.
The thing is, I think it's because of Paramount.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, yeah, actually.
Actually, who made the Minecraft movie?
Not Paramount. I can tell you that much.
Are you sure?
We would have seen it
Google.
in. We would have seen it in ads. I could 100%. Paramount does not fuck when it comes to having ownership of something. They'll use
Warner
that shit to the bone.
Brothers. Yeah, apparently Warner Brothers made the Minecraft movie.
Every time I hear the Minecraft movie,
They have such an amazing track record with companies that they own.
Well, I guess that's what's happening in gaming news today. Anything else?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, big boy.
stop it. Not really. Again, I'm not trying to bite down on Big Disney's downfall.
That's
Doesn't-
the only thing I got.
What
Big
about
Disney's
you,
pissed me
Mr.
off. Never
Cosmic?
ruined my favorite shit in the story.
I mean, nothing really comes to mind of note.
You know, fair enough. Well, first topic, something very topical, something that's 100% not old. 100 Men versus a Gorilla.
100 men easily.
Listen,
It
100
is-
men.
It is the 100 men because it's simple manpower and fucking that gorilla's gonna get tired by like the 50th one.
Let me give my reasoning.
Okay, let me
Gorillas
hear
by
it.
nature, right? Gorillas by nature. They don't fight unless they're like extremely cornered, and even when they do, they tend to not because they're bigger, so they use a lot more energy. 100 guys, sure, they'd have like a rough time, but after the gorilla starts getting tired, they're just gonna fucking run. Girls don't. Their first instinct isn't fighting.
It's probably gonna run seeing 100 people.
Yeah, probably. But what if it was bloodlusted? No, okay.
Well, still the 100 men.
They get tired before it even reached to like halfway through.
Okay,
That
but
is a
what if
lot
it
of muscle,
channeled
but it's not
the
enough.
powers of its ancestors like Harambe?
Fucker, what are you talking? Harambe didn't do shit.
Harambe was a friendly gorilla.
And then, like, what if, like imagine this, okay? It's like the Alpha One versus All Might, right? And All Might just did the United States of Smash, right? And he looks into the camera and points and he goes, "It's your turn now." And it's that one gorilla and All Might's Harambe. He just passes down his
Bro.
power to the gorilla.
Why are you fighting this gorilla thing so much? Why are we giving
I don't
gorilla
know, man.
anime level powers?
Well, here's a
I'm
question.
just saying, I'm just trying to give Curious George like a chance, you know?
Curious George. Why is it Curious George now? That's not a gorilla.
Well,
in fact a
Curious
tiny
George
monkey.
has no tail, so he's an ape.
Kid George is a chimpanzee, actually. Thank you very much.
Oh, a little wise guy over here. Okay, Mr. Biologist.
Mhm.
You know that you are a
Maybe it
monkey
lost-
expert.
Maybe Curious George lost his tail. You ever think about that? Maybe it was a tragic accident he never wants to talk about.
Well, we don't see a
That makes-
stop, so
That makes
I would
no
assume
It was
he was
that
the cornered one.
it was that close. Okay, buddy.
Sure, okay. Well, I agree with you guys.
That could have been the
100 men.
fucking case because they were going through a goddamn
Okay,
forest.
but here's a question. Who
Okay.
would win? One of every Pokemon or Tony Stark?
How about you?
Well, no.
No,
There's God in the
there's
Pokemon.
literal
Am I-
actual god.
If you said the Avengers, I would be like, you said Tony Stark.
Well, here's the
The
argument
maximum
for
pulsing
Tony
won't
Stark.
save him.
Here's the argument for Tony Stark. How long do you think it will take him to learn how to create Master Balls?
Okay, now you see, the thing is, right? Even if he did learn how to make Master Balls, what is stopping Dialga from going back in time and stopping him?
I'm pretty sure Tony Stark has dealt with that exact scenario before.
Listen to me.
I don't think you
He's smart as hell.
understand how fucked, like, you can't really fight a time travel because they can just go back before you can do whatever. It's not like you can predict that they're going to go back in time and stop them from going back in time.
That's where I'm gonna stop you here. First of all, not fucking Deoxys. Wow. Dialga would never go back in time because I would be breaking his own fundamentals, and you fucking know that. Secondly, Tony Stark is
do we know
smart.
the same Dialga?
But my real
Dialga has
point
gone to the past multiple times, bro. What are you talking about?
To disrupt something?
Well, not to disrupt it, but he has sent people to the past multiple times to stop.
That's true, but he wouldn't go himself to
There's
stop
a whole
something.
movie about it.
He didn't do shit though.
It's also more him correcting the timeline than him disrupting it.
Fucking kill a guy.
If Tony Stark becomes a big enough threat, you're telling me that Deoxys wouldn't just be like, hey, I will send some of you to the past to stop this guy from making Master Ball.
No. If Tony Stark learned how to make a Master Ball, you think that Dialga would be, oh, that's fucking bad. That's fucking gonna destroy the timeline. That wouldn't be the case.
Okay, what do you think will happen then?
All right, then. My second point is Tony Stark is a smart man. I do believe he can figure out a Master Ball, but that bitch gonna fail first try because that man never does anything correct the first time.
You are correct. You are correct about that.
That is very true. That is very. Well, actually,
So I'm gonna lean towards the.
He made his first suit. Tony Stark made this suit in a cave with a box of scrap.
Yeah.
He made these Master Balls in a cave.
And when he made the second one, it barely fucking worked.
Yeah, but
there's a reason why there's different iterations.
He made the first one the first time and it worked.
The first one worked enough to get him out alive. The second one worked long enough for him to get up to upper atmosphere and damn near die from freezing. And then the third one worked like a charm.
Mm-hmm.
Third time's a charm is, that's all I'm saying.
So why does it Mark 4?
Brother, there's a Mark 85. He's Tony Stark. He has PTSD after
he's a workaholic.
Avengers movie, and he wanted to fucking make suits for every scenario.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say it. That one scene from the Hulkbuster, bro. But Champ gonna fucking wreck that bitch. I'm just saying.
Bro said, go to sleep.
But also, I will not lie. He does have an AI system in basically every dude. So it could be.
He does have Jarvis.
It could be a good fight, but then again, they're reality bending Pokemon that will just do it for the fuck of it.
All I'm saying is they literally have Arceus, i.e. God.
Yeah.
Are we adding in XZ transformations?
One of every
Muse?
This is one of every Pokemon, so I would assume so.
Yeah. If you want Mega Evolutions or Gigantamax, you need a trainer.
No, we can't do Gigana. Well, no, because
Gigantamax
can do it
would be
off
free,
rip.
but...
Mew can also do it off. Mewtwo can also do it off rip. Kyogre and
only the legendary
the trainer.
Yeah, those are the ones that count.
To be honest, only like a few handful of
Lucario should be able to also do it off rip.
Only a few handful of Pokemon would actually be like a actual threat.
Yeah, the baby ones are
I don't know. Having a fucking flying saucer that can magnet you to the ground.
That would be very effective.
Most suits are metal, and there's a lot of electric types.
Well, he has built suits to fight Magneto.
This is true.
But not all of them.
Not all of them. Some suits can be hacked. Some suits don't even have robots in them.
Yeah, some suits don't even have AI.
Oh my god, hold on. I might have thought of one Pokemon that could fucking what's the name of it? No, not Porygon.
Rotom?
No, not Rotom. Well, Rotom was one.
Imagine Rotom possessing one of Tony Stark's suits, though.
But there's one that I'm thinking of. I can't fucking remember the name of it right now.
That would be kind of sick.
I am Rotom Man.
Rotom Man. It'd be electric steel.
It'd be Rotom suit. It would be Rotom suit. Malmetal, actually. That's what I'm thinking of.
Malmetal.
Oh, Malmetal will just eat his suit, though.
Yeah, and they're like nanobots that can split apart.
And the thing is, Tony does have a nanobot like suit.
Yeah, and that shit wouldn't do nothing to Malmetal.
Soup to Malmetal. Malmetal will be like, tasty. Nom 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 nom.
Also, I don't think my Malmetal.
The Pokemon win.
Yeah, Pokemon
win.
If you can't make the Master Balls in time, the Pokemon win.
What is it? What is it?
I mean, he would
one
have
of every
to, like...
Pokemon versus 1,000 lions.
A billion.
A billion.
Oh, a billion lions.
A billion lions.
I still stand by the lions.
You stand by the lions. I stand by the Pokemon. I do not care. I do not care about the lion ladder.
The creators.
I don't care about
the lion ladder.
The pyramid. that doesn't make any sense. You're stupid. You're stupid.
Bro,
you're stupid.
Are you like Jaden and you're like lion catapult?
Okay, but here's one argument I want to shut down from the Pokemon side. People People say that the Pokemon flying type Pokemon would give out before the lion would not just drop out of the sky. No, flying Pokemon will get tired. They will drop.
Well, yeah, we're not worried about the flying Pokemon.
Yeah, I know,
but
this is an argument I've heard, and I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah, but you're on the lion side, though. Why do you care if you're on the lion side?
Because I want to draw attention to that stupid argument.
It's okay to be
the argument works against you, but okay, bro. Anyways, we have Machamp that can lift 4 mountains and like punch 400 times a nanosecond. You know, we have God. We have fucking Ultra Necrozma that eats stars for breakfast casually. We have
and all of them can get their ass kicked by
Magikarp
that's using Struggle.
Well, first of all, that's a game mechanic. If we're using game mechanics and exploits from game mechanics, then yeah, sure, I guess. Also, he's like what, Dark Psychic Ultra Necrozma?
He's Dark.
He's Psychic, right? Or Dragon. I forgot.
I can look it up right now. I'm on Pokemon.
Yeah, look it up real quick. But yeah, I'm pretty sure a Focus / Flail Magikarp cannot one-shot Ultra Necrozma. I'm pretty sure it can. Our entire team maybe, but not one. Not a single one.
Primarily Psychic.
Psychic, yeah.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of electric types, and there you've got AoE. That's all I'm saying.
Electric type.
What's a lion gonna? What's the lion gonna do when it's a fucking lightning bolt in the dome?
Necrozma.
Some of them are gonna get up.
Necrozma is Psychic Dragon.
Yeah, Psychic Dragon. What the fuck is a lion gonna do when I throw a literal sun at it, huh? What's it gonna fucking do?
Pokemon are gonna be affected by that sun as well.
Yeah, and it's not about who has the most survivors, it's who wins.
You're right.
Pokemon are going to take each other out long before the lions go out.
You think the lions are gonna work together?
Yes, they're pack animals.
Actually, yeah, that's the worst kind because they want.
Yeah.
So, do you know how prides work in Animal Kingdom?
Yes,
it's
I do.
One male lion, multiple lionesses, and their cubs. And do you know what happens if another male lion is present? They're gonna fight each other for dominance, and then whoever wins kills the kids and takes over the pride.
Sorry to bust your bubble, brother, but there are instances where lions who get kicked out of their prides tend to team up with other male lions and make their own pride of males.
Yeah, but we're not.
Not to say it's gonna work immediately, but that's usually old lions.
I am aware of that. I'm just saying that it doesn't. The 1 billion lions does not specify that them all being male.
Oh no, of course not. And I'm saying that it's usually older males, so it's less likely to happen.
My thing is, I've like swayed myself over to the side of the lions because a billion lions.
A billion lions is a lot.
So many lions.
A billion lions.
So many lions
Is a lot. I hear you, but how are the lions gonna fight something hotter than the surface of the earth? Sorry, the sun.
Fucking Slugma's gonna kill them all by walking.
Slugma
will be stuck on their
enough
corpses.
to just nuke that entire army of lions by itself.
A billion. Do you know how much space a billion lions takes up?
Yeah,
will be stuck on
not
their
a lot.
corpses and
Look at the
freeze.
U.S.
You know what?
Sir.
Bro, hold on. I
I'm
even
kidding.
have to.
I'm kidding.
One word, one
a lot.
Pokemon alone could take out all those lions. One Pokemon alone, not even Arceus. I'm not even use Arceus. Yveltal alone.
I was hoping you would fucking say that. If Yveltal falls, then the Pokemon will die sooner than the lions.
Listen.
No.
Very,
you know
very
why?
carefully.
You know why I'm rejecting what you're saying, right? Because remember, as we said, as long as at least one Pokemon survives, we win, right? So if Yveltal goes down and he starts sucking all the life energy out of everything around him, you think Arceus is gonna stay around? You think the Creation trio is gonna like stick around? No, they're gonna fuck off to their realms and be safe there. You think Hoopa's gonna stay there? No, fucking Hoopa's gonna fuck off. All the legendaries and mythicals are just gonna be like, oh, Yveltal's doing his thing, and they're gonna leave. And then the lions are gonna die. And then they're just gonna come back, oh, all the lions are dead. Well, guess we win.
It's also worth noting that when Yveltal dies, he doesn't kill a billion. He has a specific number. It's 1,000 or 1,000,000, one of the two.
Listen, I'm just
Look it
saying.
up right now.
Yeah, you fact check this, Mr. Fact Checker. I'm just saying, the lions don't stand a chance. 1 billion is a lot, yes, but the small, and I'm saying small, the small percentage of Pokemon who are actually decently powerful will just solo them.
It would just take so long.
Which I'll admit, the
Billion
legendaries
lions.
have the time.
You guys are going to end up with us. There are fuckers who can make past Category 5 Hurricanes for a very long time. I'm pretty sure a billion lions aren't fucking gonna survive that shit. Fucking Kyogre could just drown the entire fucking continent. They don't swim for that long.
It is said that every
The
time
issue
NT
is,
barks,
like,
a volcano erupts.
We keep coming back to the fact that the Pokemon have literal gods. A billion lions isn't going to survive that because they're not on the same level as gods. They are lions.
Understandable.
Not only that,
Gardevoir, to protect itself and its trainer, opens black holes.
Literally miniature black holes. Also, what a lot of these lion side people don't seem to bring up, and a lot of Pokemon people also don't bring up, is that we have Ho-Oh. If any of the fucking Pokemon die, Ho-Oh can be like, up, time to hit the revive, and restore them.
Surprised you didn't go with Xerneas for that.
No.
Nah.
Well, Xerneas can. Yeah, we have Xerneas and Ho-Oh. So, like, what's the problem? We win.
All
There's
right,
no argument here.
All right, I'm going to I'm going to say this, and it's going to truly emphasize the name of this podcast. With a billion lions all being randomly chosen, one of them is bound to be Aslan.
I don't know who that is. So that name means something to me.
That's
Aslan is
how
from
that
the Lion,
works.
the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He is the lion.
That's not how that works. That's not how that. That's not the fucking point of it.
No. Let me tell you what's exactly gonna happen if that happens, right? If one of them is Aslan, right?
Fucking
Arceus is gonna
voiced by
come
Liam
down.
Neeson.
Arceus is gonna come down. He's gonna be like, "Hey, yo, Aslan, is that you?" And then they'll dap each other up. And he'll be like, "Hey, man, let's go for drinks." And then the
It's
war
a peace treaty.
It's a peace treaty. War's over.
War ends.
War
We
ends
solved
immediately.
we solved the issue.
I wish.
You know, I'm fine with this ending.
All right.
fucking-
Don't you dare recite the magics to me,
God,
which I were
God,
there
you guys
when
hurt
they
my
were
brain
written.
sometimes. You guys hurt my brain sometimes. Oh my
You don't
god.
have a brain. This is
I
the
can't.
head empty. This is head empty cast, bro. Leave your brain cells at the door. That's the slogan now.
Come-
I'm writing that down. Leave your brain cells at the door. That's
Write
that's
that down,
good.
write that
I'm
down.
typing
No,
that
this
in right now. Got a little worse guy. Okay. Well, I think
Damn, I couldn't
First
find
topic.
it. Come on.
was pretty cool. Well, this is oddly a good segue because my next question was, what is an animal you would give sentience to? I know I've asked this question before, but we haven't like recorded
That's
our
actually-
answers before.
I've never answered this question.
So
Now,
let's go around.
This
the
is
table.
it. Yeah, it's not even a matter of what, like, you can't even pick your favorite animal because sometimes your favorite animal would be horrible to give sentience to.
Oh no, that's the
I don't
that's
know
the
that.
other topic. Because the topic I have after this is the best versus the worst animals to give sentience
Hold
to.
on. I'm sorry. Before we go to this, let me go back. This drag is actually fucking right about the Evolta thing. There's no number. It says it absorbs every living thing. So
Truth nuke. Drop your Velta into the enemy line.
Okay, but let's see.
I-
What
I
animal
will-
would be?
I will say this. My favorite animal isn't a bad one to give sentience to.
I'm
Penguins.
listening.
Penguins. Okay.
No, that's
Have
such
you
a
heard-
terrible
do you
existence. Why
know
would
the
you
things
do that?
Penguins do.
Penguins of Madagascar. Let's go.
Exactly.
You know what? I will. You know what?
Dude,
I
this
can
might
accept
Hold
forget
that.
it.
on.
I can
No,
accept
that's
that.
a terrible existence, bro. What
I
are you
know
talking
it's a terrible
about?
existence. However, like, okay, like brushing aside all the absolute terrible shit penguin do, right?
I want to be Dr. fucking Doolittle in this bitch. I want to talk to a penguin.
Penguins of Madagascar is kind of gas, though. You gotta admit.
It is.
Bro. This is the head empty cut. Why? What am I doing here with all these cognitives, bro? God Christ.
What you're gonna deny me my sentient penguins?
That penguin's gonna scream at you forever, dude.
Okay.
We-
This is gonna be a
What
very
is
wild
talking if
answer.
not just screaming?
This is gonna be a very wild answer for me. I think
Okay.
the best animal to give sentience to is actually my least favorite animal, pandas. They need to learn how to survive on their own.
Oh, so you just did it out of pity.
There's this thing called anime, right? And they've already given pandas sentience.
JJK
They would just
doesn't
be
count.
incompetent little bitches. Because China treats them like goddamn celebrities because they're extinct. So they just get a big head.
You know what? They would be full of themselves. I can see it.
Well, either way, they either pull themselves up by their bootstraps or they die out faster, and I'm fine with this.
Why do you think we take care of them? That's what's gonna happen if we stop.
They are literally trying to die when we're spending so much money trying to take care of them.
Because they're cute and
They're
adorable.
cute though.
Polar bears are better.
Polar bears will
Polar bears
maul
try to
me.
kill me.
Exactly.
Polar bears are one of the only animals that see humans as prey and actively hunt them.
Yes. Which is why I didn't give them sentience.
Honestly,
Polar bear.
Why not?
polar bears developed sentience, I think we would legitimately have a worldwide like agreement to just hunt them to extinction.
Bro, it's not that hard. They live
It
in
would
like
be.
two
I
places.
don't think something that powerful should have sentience.
Yeah. Polar bears with sentience would be terrifying for humans, and thus would be very dangerous.
What are
We
you
would
talking-
eradicate them immediately.
Listen, polar bears, yeah, they're dangerous, but they're bound to like a climate.
They aren't actually. Sure, they go to colder weather, but they can actually go down to the Americas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
and they
they
can't
are
come to,
starting
like-
to do so because, you know,
Ever hear of a
temperature
polar
rising.
bear?
Cool. That's awesome. Fucking keep the same energy when you give a chimpanzee the fucking
We are not
sentience.
giving them sentience.
That's
we
how
have
we
all
get Planet of the
stayed.
Apes.
Yeah, we have.
That's
seen
how
Planet of
you
the
get your
Apes.
face ripped off.
They already do that.
Yeah. Now they'll do it with prejudice.
All right, what's your answer, Star?
I don't have one right now. Come back to me. Head empty.
Okay. My personal pick for giving human level sentience to an animal, capybara.
That's a good one.
You know what?
That's
I
I
do
want
have
to
one.
give the coconut doggies absolute sentience. I want to see them walk around with little suits and ties and little hats on. I want them to have their own, you know, like a little town that they go to. I think it would be really cool.
Happy
I think it would be
I
like-
have one actually.
I think they would be so chill.
The thing is, you would have to teach them because giving a thing sentience does not give it knowledge.
I mean,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
would still, they would have the ability to understand and teaching them. I think capybara would be like so chill. They're like some chill ass guys.
I do have one.
I will
answer.
say, okay, yeah.
You can continue for now, so you can get it off your mind.
So I will say I am extremely biased towards penguins, mainly because of Happy Feet and Surf's Up.
I feel like I'm the only one thinking realistically. I don't think I should be here.
Movies that I watched.
What do you
as a kid.
mean you don't know?
I like penguins.
Okay, go ahead. Penguins are good, or a good choice. I personally wouldn't pick them, but they're not the worst.
I mean,
Yeah.
capybaras are also good. I completely
Let us-
understand the logic behind that
So
one.
yeah. As for the worst, since that's the next topic.
Wait, hold on. I'm not done yet.
Let's start, guys.
Oh, okay.
I do
I thought I
think-
already answered that.
I do think, specifically, a queen bee should have sentience.
Specifically the queen bee.
Hmm.
Specifically, the queen bee.
Not even the drones. Okay,
No.
No.
I could see that.
If the drones have sentience, I do feel like it's gonna break down. We kind of need bees to fucking be here,
Yeah,
and
I
the
could see the queen bee
communication would
getting
be a lot
sentience.
better.
You just want the Bee movie, but worse.
I just want to not have the Earth die in like 100 years. What are you
Like
talking
an
about?
actual diplomat for the bees could be nice.
Yeah,
the thing
an
is, right,
actual.
bees have the intelligence to realize that humans actively like help them exist, right? Because you know bee farms, right? How they have artificial beehives. The bees just know that this beehive is better than a natural beehive, so the beekeepers don't actually like force the bees to stay there. The bees are like, damn,
Well,
this crib is really nice. I think we just stay here and give up some of the honey sometimes.
it's more of it's because of the environment that we give them. It's good enough for them to be there.
Yeah,
Because it's
because the bees
not
can
just
leave at
our-
any time, but they're
yeah,
not
they
going
leave
to
whenever they want.
because they're like, this is a very soundly structured place.
Don't say
stay
that
here.
because some beekeepers are terrible. You can't just leave a bee. You have to like tend to that fish like crazy.
Well, obviously, I'm looking at the positive sides here, Mr. Downcast.
Well, you can't look at one side of the blade and not look at the other. That's how you get killed.
What if it's a one-sided blade?
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
What if it's like a katana and it has one sharp side?
Well, that's not how the world works. Everything's double-edged. sorry.
Mr. Narcissist over here. But you see the glasses.
I'm not being a narcissist. I'm being a realist. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's called realist and pessimist.
I'm an analyzer. That's what I do.
Mr. Logical.
Gotta think about the small points.
But yeah, what were you saying, Reese? About the worst animal to give sentience to? Because I have my answer.
Dolphins.
Oh, fuck yes.
No.
I was about
Squids.
to say
Squids. Why
hold on,
squid?
hear me out.
Because squids are already there, and we don't need them more.
Hey.
Listen, I don't know what's your prejudice against squids. However, I agree with the dolphin part because orcas having sentience is the worst thing that could possibly happen, like ever.
Orcas are great.
Orcas should not be allowed to have sentience, bro. They literally bully everything else in the sea.
You mean dolphins, dog?
You mean dolphins?
Orcas are part of the dolphin family.
They're part of the whale family.
They're from the
No.
whale
Whales.
family. They're
Dolphins.
porpoises.
They're whales. They're killer whales.
Actually, no,
Whale.
you're wrong. Hold on.
Let me.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna have to. I know this
I'm
is
doing it. Hold on. I'm doing it.
I know this is the Head Empty podcast, but I have to educate you people.
No,
here.
hold
The orca
on.
or
No.
killer whale is a toothed whale and the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family. It's
It's
both.
both.
Yes, it's toothed whale is not okay. Ooh, I'm not. You're not. Ooh. Oh. You're not doing that.
It's
Either way-
literally called a whale.
What
It's a
I am
whale.
getting from this so far
Yeah,
is
so is
do
a
not
whale
give
shark, but it's
sea
not a
creatures
fucking whale.
Do not give sea creatures sentience.
But the issue is with squids, at least. Squids have been proven, like actually truly proven, to have intelligence on par with ours. They just can't do shit because they're in the ocean.
Wait,
If you give them true sentience, we're fucked.
are you talking about
If you give a
squids or
squid sentience,
octopods?
both
I mean octopuses.
most cephalopods would probably.
Cephalopod in general. They don't need it.
I mean, these fuckers only live for like 1 year, so why are we worrying about this? They
They
literally
live for 1
only.
year, like.
They,
But it
hold
could
on.
be- it could
No,
get
no, no.
worse.
I don't think you understand. You see, if, like, think about it this way. Let's say for some reason, octopi start getting sentience, right? They only live for 1 year, and because of how they are, when they mate, the males of the species literally become brain dead and starve themselves until they die, right? Either that or they rip their dick off and throw it at the female and run away. That's how they multiply, right? Regardless, they only live for a year. They are not going to be able to do anything significant in a year of them existing.
That's probably what
I
the
feel
dinosaurs
like-
thought about us, bro.
We
I'm just saying.
we did, bro. We didn't exist during the time of the dinosaurs. I'll actually, you know what, we're on YouTube. I'm not gonna say that. Just check your mail. Check your mail. You'll find it in surprise.
Ooh, what's this?
But yeah, I think. Well, my personal choice for worst thing to give sentience to, right? Something that is decently long-lived like we are and could perhaps actively like fuck us over unironically. Cats. I don't think cats should get sentience.
Oh my god, bro. I was just about to say, you're not thinking about the annoying shit. Any domestic animal off the table.
Yeah.
Like, I literally think that cats, specifically cats, like dogs are right?
No,
Man's
they're
best
not.
friend.
Don't lie to
They're
yourself.
pretty loyal, right? They're decently loyal to, you know, the people they care about. Cats, yes, they care about you, but they're just a different breed of creature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel
I'm
like
listening.
cats wouldn't like care about like absolutely, you know, wiping out humanity if it benefits them, you know. Also, give me a moment. Give me a hot second.
I think you're.
Okay. So we were talking about the worst animals to give sentience to.
Oh, we were talking about domesticated animals.
We both agreed that cats one of the worst.
No, not just cats. Any animal domesticated.
Any domesticated animal, but I don't think dogs would like actively try to destroy humanity. You know,
it wouldn't be active, but it would be annoying.
I don't think you understand how conniving dogs can be.
I think cats are more of a danger, personally.
There are dogs that quite literally are bred for war that we just have as the cutest dogs nowadays. I just need you to know that.
I'm aware. My statement still stands.
Yeah. Cats, I get it, but I don't think they're that conniving, bro. I'm gonna be very honest.
If you say so.
Cats yeah, I'm said so from a guy who's been around cats a lot. They're not that fucking conniving.
Maybe your
cats are kind of stupid. Cats are kind of stupid.
Dogs are pretty stupid too, bro. What are you talking about?
Bro, I've had more trouble with dogs than cats. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, because dogs are bigger and dumber.
Has a dog ever unlocked your fucking door?
Have you not seen a cat that has?
A cat barely. Yeah, a lever door. I'm not talking about like a normal knob. My dog has opened the fucking door before.
Let's just agree that both of them domestic.
They're both gonna be hella annoying, and not only that, but they're gonna yap like crazy.
Cats at 3 a.m. when you're trying to sleep. You
think dogs don't do that?
No, I know. I have a dog. I have a pit bull in my backyard. I'm well aware.
Yeah, boy's gonna rip you apart, bro.
Rip me apart. My dog loves me, bro.
Yeah, because you feed them and they don't know any better.
Exactly.
What if they did, bro? They'd be fucking like, this shit ain't right.
Like, wait a minute. This is basically slavery.
And why can I be in the house?
Then they're gonna want to start having rights, and then
Okay, let's not continue this.
This is how we lead to furries.
That's not.
Oh no!
That's another good point.
That's the real reason we shouldn't give cats, dogs, or any animals sentience. because of the xenophiles. And let's leave it like that, because I'd rather not find a pipe bomb in my mailbox.
Skulls would also be fucked up. Have you ever seen that one Rick and Morty episode?
Skulls would also be fucked up. That is true. How about we go on for the next topic? What is your? Let's start with your favorite. What's your favorite trope in media?
Family.
Any media?
Any media.
Recently, my favorite trope is when this is anime particularly, where it's like, oh well, we're big name people now, and this one weak guy is holding us back, so we're gonna kick him out the party unjustly. And it turns out that the so-called weak guy has been holding himself back the entire time, so the party can climb. And then they just slowly start spiraling.
Either that, or he's been like the reason the party is successful in the first place.
Yeah, and they start spiraling, and their first thing is, it's his fault. He did something terrible.
He must have cursed us or something.
Now that you said that, one comes to mind. There is one with an adventurous party, and one of the guys is a cursemancy, which is basically a necromancer, but he dabbles in curses instead of dead people. And they kick him out of the party because they're like, you're too slow, you don't do anything, all you do is just carry your cursed objects around, we don't fucking care, get out of here. He's like, okay, I guess since I'm not in the party, I can take all these curses off of me. And it turns out that the reason why he was so fucking slow and weak is because he put like 100 fucking curses on himself to buff the entire party. And then they started, losing. And then they're like, I see what happened. He put a curse on us before he left. So we need to find him and make him take it off. And they were convinced it was that way for the entire fucking time.
There was one I was reading recently of this guy. His skill is talent sharing or skill sharing. Like he could give people skills and get like a little bit of XP and stuff from them. And they were like, "You're weak. You're dragging us down. We're a class. We're A rank group. We can't be an S rank group if you're still here." So they kick him out. And he's like, "Fine then. If I'm leaving,
Fine,
I'll
take
take
my skills.
I'll take all the skills and XP I gave you guys." And they're like, "Okay, fine, take them. We don't care." And he took them. He left. Those guys almost die fighting a boss because they're like, why am I not as strong as before? It's his fault. He took all those skills away when he gave them the skills in the first place.
It's so fucking greedy, dude.
Yeah.
There's another one that they animated with a healer, and then they try to get him back after they realize they're dumb as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then turns out that he is now the doctor for like 3 of the biggest like demi-human mob bosses. And he went to each of them and was like, "I need to find this person." And they're like, "Oh, so you're the person that kicked him off of the fucking party? Yeah, I don't fuck with you. Leave before I kill your ass."
That's like, you should send me like that. I actually do want to read that. Right now, I'm.
You can watch it actually, and the dub is pretty good.
Oh, for real? Okay, well, send me like slide me that link real quick. The name. I'll watch it.
Well, I'm gonna see if 9 anime. I'll just send you the name of
the legal site that we watch the anime on. It has it.
I'll just send you the name of the anime. I'll just send you the name of the anime. Okay.
Yes, of course. Well, that's what I asked for. It's not first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reset Found Family, Vin Diesel ass. What about you, Sam? What's your favorite drop?
It's hard to like think of one without it actively happening in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. Like I could tell you my favorite if it was actively going on.
Do you have a way to like emphasize it?
Found Family is a pretty good one. I do like that one.
You can have like both tropes as well. Because I was just thinking TV media.
I do love a good subverted expectations for a plot twist. Like you think a plot twist is gonna happen, but then it's a plot twist, but not in the way you expected it.
Yeah.
There is an anime that does that so well. If you want to fucking watch that with me, I'm not gonna lie to you.
What's it called?
It's called The Great Pretender.
Ooh.
It is an anime about con artists, dude. I've watched it. I don't want to spoil anything because that's the first time I genuinely was shocked. Because every episode has like a different well, not every episode, every arc of the heist has a different twist that you wouldn't expect.
Actually, I wanna change my answer.
Okay.
When the main characters match each other's freak.
What do you mean by that?
Elaborate, please.
I'll go with Undead Unluck. You have this immortal man who can heal from anything. Obviously, he's just gonna be this crazy guy who doesn't care about his own body. Then there's this completely mortal girl who, for her first time ever, is it being introduced to people that can deal with her power. And almost immediately, she goes as insane as the man, if not more. She pulls a gun on a person just to get some information. And the person was just doing their job. They were going to give them the information anyways.
How far have you reached? Because she goes with balls off the fucking wall. Yeah, okay. She goes with balls off the fucking wall. I'm trying not to
spoil. I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I finished too. It's a great one.
Like, most characters will be like, we'll have find people with traumatic backstories and be like, don't worry, I'll help you move on from this. And this character's like, I hear your tragic backstory. Fuck that tragic backstory. I'm your tragic backstory. We're gonna be the best of friends.
Yeah, it's like your tragic backstory? Yeah, that never happened.
I'm your tragic backstory now.
I'm your backstory. Family dying, your family will never know hardship ever again.
Now, I will say, the anime that like is very similar to that is Dandadan. Dandadan, all the main characters match each other's freak.
Dan, they match each other's freak because they're all neurodivergent. That's why.
Yeah.
They're literally
quite literally the only reason why I was gonna call her Miss Ayase. God damn it, I need to stop listening to Okarun. The reason why Momo and Ken work so fucking well together is because they don't believe in what each other does, and they're so, like high-strung people that they just feed off of each other's energy, you know?
That is very true.
I fucking don't like stuff though. I don't. What's his name again?
Oh, him? Yeah,
His
I
name
know
is
what you mean.
Listen, he's played by one of my favorite voice actors in the dub. He's played by the same guy that plays Sun Jin-woo and Zenitsu. But like him as a character, like manga-wise, before the anime came out, I don't like him. He's very like the class clown type of guy, just like cool, but like the guy that's like, well, if I'm gonna do something embarrassing, I'm gonna make sure that everyone's embarrassed with me. But he's better now. He's, you know, less of a fucking guy. I can't wait for the fucking...
Have you come up with an answer?
Have you? We didn't hear one for you.
No, I have mine.
I did say mine. The
Yeah, you did.
subverted expectations.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why we're talking about this now.
Right. I'm stupid. I forgot. My personal one, I have two. The first one is I love me a good zero to hero trope, right? A good start from nothing.
Not like immediate.
Like not immediate go. I like me a good
like a slow crawl.
Started from the bottom, now we're here, right? That's why I love Gurren Lagann so much, right?
I'm
because
about to say you really enjoy Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Like literally, like narratively alone, Gurren Lagann is we started on the ground, now we're at the edge of the universe, right?
That's kind of every trigger at this point, to be honest.
0 to
Trigger
100,
but
0
from
real
to
quick.
1,000.
Yeah, like I absolutely like that is something that needs to happen more, and that's insane that it's not.
Oh, there is an anime that I should recommend you of this guy who basically is like, well, I reached the pinnacle of my... Yeah, I've reached the pinnacle of... I'm sorry, okay? What do you want me to say?
No, go ahead.
I've watched a lot of things. He's like, I reached the pinnacle of my life. I've retired at the age of like 20-something. It's like, life is good. And then you fucking die and gets reincarnated. And they're like, well, you're at the bottom of the fucking bucket list now. Start mining. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll start back from the bottom. And that's the entire anime. I've been building up back to the corporate chain. I don't know if you'd like it, but it is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Next topic gonna be least favorite tropes.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to there. But let me finish.
Yeah.
So because I had two of them. So as I said, my first one is 0 to hero, right? I love me a good main protagonist starts weak, and then either through hard work or like just pure willpower or like, you know, the people around them supporting them, they reach their pinnacle. And they become the person that they were striving to be the entire time. And I think that's a really good storytelling element. I like that a lot. My second favorite trope in media is the... how should I describe this? I love satire parodies.
Oh, like comedy.
Like One Punch Man, where it's a parody on superheroes, like superhero shows, or superheroes like on a hold, right? But
what is a satire?
It's a bit of a satire. One Punch Man is a bit of a satire, but it's
No, One
definitely
Punch Man is a satire, but it has its own plot. It's taking itself seriously, but it's still satire.
it's funny, but there's nuances to One Punch Man. I like when anime not only like develops their characters like strength wise, but like physically, but like also emotionally, right? It gives them depth. That's so I guess that's technically 3. Because emotional development
I have one
is
more.
the third one. What's your
and I say this because I've been reading a lot of these stuff. That's why they're like on my top right now. The trope of the main character being incredibly strong, but not thinking that he's strong because what he has to compare himself to is basically God.
Oh, I know exactly which anime.
There are a
you're
bunch of
referring
them.
to.
There's a bunch of them. There's one where there's this boy who comes from a tribe that was basically made up from the Heroes Party, and he's the weakest out of the tribe. So to him, he's the weakest to his tribe. But outside of that shit, he is the strongest motherfucker that they have ever seen. He looks at fucking dragons and thinks that they're lizards, and one hits them.
There's one where a boy is from a village that's located at basically the end game dungeon of a game.
Yeah.
So every single person in that village is strong as hell, and he is considered the weakest person.
Bro, I just explained this.
You said
It's the same.
you said
tribe.
it was you said a tribe that was made out of the Heroes Party. That's what you
I
said.
said that was basically made. It's the same thing that I'm talking about. It is the hero.
I hate this guy.
Whatever.
I hate this guy, bro. I hate this guy.
Yeah, you do hate this guy.
Anyways, I
sorry.
did think of the other one that because I do have one more. No, me personally.
I only have
You-
2. That's
You
4.
can call me edgy for it. However,
Okay, edgy.
I do. Shut the fuck up. I do like me a.
What do you say?
Yeah, I told you shut the fuck up.
Oh.
I do
God
like
damn
me
it.
the trope where the protagonist is low-key also an antagonist. You know, I like the antagonist protagonist.
Oh, you want anti-heroes?
I like Code Geass, Lelouch, like.
Bro.
Have you ever watched Go Go Loser Rangers?
Yep.
It's
Great mom.
It's
Great
about
show.
a it's set in what is effectively the Power Rangers, but we're following a foot soldier from the enemy side.
That one. I was looking for the name of that actually. Hold on, let me write that down because I have been.
It's actually on its second season right now.
Yeah. What the thing about it is that they came to invade the Earth, and then when they got the weapons, they realized that they're hella weak. So their proposition is that once a week they have to do basically like the whole Power Rangers gimmick where they fight like the big evil monster.
Yeah.
But it's the foot soldiers that transform, and a part of the deal is that it can't be the same monster that they've fought ever, or else they're gonna kill all of them.
Yeah, they basically hold them hostage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a fan of like a. Man, I guess I have.
Well, that's
like
also a build. That's also a build up too. So you would really like it. It is also like
it's a good build up.
Yeah,
it's one of the
really
zero to hero tropes.
Cause like, listen, I love me a good shonen or like a happy-go-lucky protagonist. I like when my protagonist is a bit cynical, you know, like a little cynical, little like
an anti-hero
gets his hands dirty. I'm also a big fan of. I like. I guess I do have one more trope. But specifically for like protagonist, I enjoy when protagonists solve their problems not by strength but using their head, like being like intelligent protagonists. I love intelligent protagonists.
One of the
like
great
Senku, Dr. Stone.
It's why I personally
Senku, Dr. Stone, the same fucking person, bro. Also,
Senku from Doctor Stone, Doctor Stone from Doctor Stone.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
And
Be
then,
the same guy that was in a Snickers commercial.
Shut up. Shiro from Log Horizon.
Yeah.
Hachiman from My Teen Romantic Comedy.
I mean, he really can't use anything else. So.
Yeah, but like, still.
That's so much nicer to me than just I'm strong and therefore I win.
My favorite trope is when the main characters, because it's usually more than one, they take the world that they're in very seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously when they're together. Because Castlevania does a great job of that.
It's a half. We have a
Hello.
Hi.
Podcast.
We have a hold on. I'll have to reach into the ether and grab him. Oh, I see you got my invitation. Let me go get the door for you. One moment.
Bro, the door's already open.
Hold on, in case you're missing something for it.
Hold on. Let me Can you hand me his profile real quick?
I need his. Let me give you his screenshots.
Yeah.
His portfolio.
His portfolio.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hello, Mr.
Sorry to cut this in.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi, what's up, man?
people who will most likely not know who this man is. This is our resident DM from the Not One communication server. I'll put the link in the description.
He is the head of the council.
He is the head of the council.
The head.
Council head.
But I wanna get this out before I forget about it. Because Castlevania, because you know how much I fucking love Castlevania. I just gotta talk about Castlevania whatever I can. Yes, the Netflix series. Well, the game too. The games too. But like the trope of like you take the world seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously. Because when it comes to like missions and stuff that they have to do, they're very on key with it. But the moment they have like leisure time to talk to each other, it's just a bunch of half banters and sarcasms all over the place.
It's serious people in casual sarcasm.
Yeah, it's serious people doing serious badass shit, but when it comes to themselves, it's just sarcasm and snarky remarks.
They feel like
all
people.
the time.
That's the big thing.
Basically, that's the main thing. It's not like we're serious all the time. It's we're serious at this moment, and then it's like, wow, I can't believe you fucking did that, you dumbass. Go fuck yourself, you prick.
Eat shit and die. Yes.
Basically, eat shit and die. Yes. Fuck you.
But yeah, welcome to the podcast, Half.
Hello.
Yeah, you missed a lot of things. Surprisingly, we have not started arguing, which I'm really impressed by.
We did a little bit of arguing.
They killed.
Sorry,
I wouldn't say arguing. It's more arguing is like.
That's a bit of banter.
Different. It's banter, I think. Really.
There was a bit of arguing.
Just a little banter, you know.
You know, specifically when we got to the Lions.
We're not fucking talking about that again.
Good.
We did the
frog demon.
Hey.
Oh
boy.
Good for the murderers.
I love how the context of that is the Lions killed the frog demon.
But man, it's
welcome, just so you know, the current topic we're talking about our favorite tropes in media.
I do have another one, but I'll let it.
Tropes.
I have another one that also ties into Castlevania. I'm sorry, I have Castlevania on the bird now.
This one actually pertains to Super.
She's Vania pill.
I get it right now. I am. What's it?
So, I like character follies that are intelligent. Sam and Dean Winchester. They are their own character follies.
Oh, you mean like characters with like a flaw of some kind?
Not that. They not only are representing one personality, but they are also their opposite personality in certain situations.
Oh, that's kind of like the that's kind of like the trope where, like we said, they match their freak. The characters that match each other's freaks.
It's kind of like that, but it's for self improvement.
Yeah, I get you.
Like how Dean Winchester, brave, not brave, reckless, rash, but he's also when he's in a wrong mental state, he's also rageful, wrathful, unstable. Because technically, both parts need to exist for this person to be a person. You can't just be reckless and rash and not have some negative trait to go along with it.
Yeah, I get you.
That's where they represent their own follies. Because a lot of time in TV shows, they don't accentuate characters' flaws.
No, they don't.
They will just focus on the positive traits, trying to make the protagonist seem like, well, the protagonist. But that kind of makes them one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Another trope that I do like is, again, Castlevania on the brain. That's why I said it, and now I'm just thinking about a bunch of shit. It is the big, it's like not really like brooding or like serious, but it's like the big guy who's all tough, and the fucking girlfriend who's like, I'm just happy to be here, you know? And it's just like I'm trying to do shit, and then she's like, I know, I was like bothering you, and he's like, well, fuck, I can't look at you right now, because if I look at you, I'm gonna end up fucking agreeing to whatever the fuck you want to do. Which is literally a conversation that the two of them had. Then Alucard was by himself playing with dolls. We're not gonna get into that. That's not a part of the topic.
Actually, we should get into that.
Should we?
Get into that.
Yeah.
I don't think we should. Maybe next time.
Not in the bad way. What I mean in Alucard's, despite what he gives off, he's technically very immature.
He's
as a person.
Yeah, he's quite literally a child.
Yes, he's still naive. Does that change a Nocturne? A little.
Kinda.
A little.
Yeah, but he also went kind of batshit insane. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, we won't get into semantics of it. I think we have like, how much more topics do we have to talk about?
I mean, I have a few more topics, but like, we're vibing. I will say, like, the next one is obviously the opposite of.
And I have
Is
my
it
answer
the
for
worst
this.
trope?
Yeah, what is your personal? What is your most hated?
All right.
trope?
First things first. Overpowered for no reason. Main character.
Yeah,
That is a
we
good
got-
one.
I mean, we can agree with that.
Sometimes I don't like it, but it has to be like if there's like a cocky person in
feels
there
good.
now and again.
Yeah, like
It's just like
feels-
Saitama obviously is a great one.
Yeah,
Remember
It's
the
like
therapist?
Yeah.
it's just like a
Reverse
cocky
really good
person
one.
in there now
God,
and again. and
I love Tinsura so much.
I
I know
But-
you.
If you have Gurren Lagann, I have Tinsura.
Yeah,
But
100%.
Yugiri from my instant kill ability is so overpowered. No.
the fact that that's the name of it.
Yes. And the entire gimmick is, hey, I died, I'm here now. Now I can kill anything in one instant. Doesn't matter what it is.
And the way he
it's a god that
explains
can
how
cause
his
death.
insta-kill ability works too is so fucking lame. Because he's like, oh yeah, I just, I just killed your ability to walk. Now you can't move your legs.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like, it could be a concept, which is the weird thing about it.
It's so.
It's
stupid.
trying
And
to
he-
be Madoka's box so fucking
And he
It
did
is
nothing
trying to be
for it.
Madoka's box so bad.
He literally just-
He wants to be all fiction so bad, but he's not.
He literally just got the power because, hey, you're a main character, I guess.
You know what?
All right, I
you
feel
know
like
what
I
other-
need to get my
Hold on,
2
hold
cents
on.
in real quick.
Yeah, I'll
hold
let
on.
you get your
Yeah.
so.
Let's go.
Characters that are created for a singular purpose and then never get that purpose succeeded.
Oh my god. Naruto.
Naruto.
No. Naruto is not my example for this.
Who's
What
your
is-
example?
My example of this is Chuck,
From
Chuck.
Supernatural.
I don't
I don't watch
Supernatural.
I watch
You
it
know what? Here's
sometimes, but I don't watch it.
does anyone?
Oh,
Here's
here
another
know
one.
those?
Uh huh.
Here's my other one.
Mhm.
I forget his fucking name, but it's Kirito's friend in SIO.
Oh,
Balls Deep
I know who you're
69?
talking about. You know the funny thing about that? There is a joke in the abridged that
name is
no one
Keith.
remembers his name.
Yes,
His name is Keith.
because he
His
never
name is Keith.
did anything to
He
help.
did one thing.
He did a singular
He did
thing.
He walked up to
Even
Kirito
though
and talked to
he's
him.
supposed to be, a really good tank. I
He's
have
supposed to be-
only seen
Yeah.
3
I
episodes of
don't
it.
blame you because everything Keith does is off screen. Literally,
Yes.
all his
It was supposed to
accomplishments,
be-
everything off screen.
That's
I think
another
he
pet
gets
peeve of
I
mine.
don't think you
he gets
understand.
If you
more
have,
time,
if you have
like,
a character,
in the manga, I think in the manga he's shown to do more.
Yeah, he is.
That- I think this intertwines with what that pet peeve of mine. If you have a character who is well written and well developed, have them have fucking screen time.
10-10.
Don't let
10-10.
don't let them just do everything in the fucking background, because
10-10.
then you just confuse the fucking audience.
Blackbeard too.
It's kind of like how
Build
Blackbeard is
up
kinda
these
different.
fucking characters.
He is different.
yeah, give them the
Deus
shiny,
Ex Machina
you know.
is fucking lazy.
It is. The thing about it is too is just like fucking like he could have been like that emotional support for Kirito, and they brought him in when his first fucking party died. He was like, "Hey man, it's not a guarantee and stuff," and like instead of like Kirito's like, "Yeah, whatever, just it's fine. It didn't work out." And he was gonna comfort Kirito, but instead of having Kirito stay there, like, he probably would have. They just have him walk away. And I'm like, okay.
They have him walk away and throw the item at Keith, like, hey, use this if
It's like, hey, you could
if you ever get a
use
chance,
this
just
to
in case.
get the fucking chance, He
Yeah,
doesn't,
season
like,
1
explain
Kirito,
anything.
not the best. Not the best Kirito. Not the best
They could
Kirito.
have also had, when is the best Kirito? After fucking, like season 3.
After Gun Gale, yeah. After Gun Gale
Yeah.
Kirito.
Here's a bad thing about it, though. We don't get to see him that much, because then in part 2, he's brain dead for the entire thing.
I like how the best part of the SAO is parts that Kirito isn't in,
Literally,
like the
he's
side
brain dead
story.
for the entire part. No, I kid you not. One of the best SAO parts is SAO season 3 part 2. He's brain dead and bound to a wheelchair for the entire part 2.
Imagine your anime is better without you. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He got better after part 3. To be fair, Ordinal Scale was really nice. That was
Ordinal
probably
Scale
the best
was very
Have
character.
a bad character, but yeah.
Okay, if we're gonna be talking about, like, fuck it, we're in Kirito now. Ordinal Scale Kirito should have just fucking let that shit happen, because everyone was so dumb. Ordinal Scale is basically someone made this new AI thing that mimicked SAO, because he figured out that if he scanned the brains of SAO survivors, he could probably bring back his dead daughter. The thing about that is that would leave people brain dead. And people are like, this is cool as shit. And Kirito's like, you probably shouldn't trust this shit off the fucking bat, because we don't know who made it. We just got out of SAO, and we don't want to be in that situation again. And there's a lot of things that's going down, and everyone just fucking ignores it.
Yeah. It's dumb. Now listen, I'm a firm believer in people need to burn to learn, so let them hurt themselves and,
It's only because his girlfriend was fucking there.
well,
It's
obviously,
because his girlfriend was in trouble.
That's
yeah,
that's the
they
main
also were
reason
like, we're gonna
he
show
does
you the hunt.
most things.
The main reason he does most things is because Asen is the reason why.
Yeah, that's basically his entire motivation is for
It's not about motivation, it's about who fucks him over. Because in season 2, he got fucked over because someone told him to go into Gun Gale to go find somebody who was the killer. and then got fucked over when he tried to save somebody else. In SAO 3, the only reason why he was in that place is because Asuna was with him, because the character doesn't post himself online, and somebody stabbed him when they were together.
Yep.
So to be fair, Kirito's only in those situations because he's with people. To be honest.
Nah. Poor guy. What about you, Cosmic over there? What's your what do you personally think is the worst trope in media?
Man, the worst trope.
In
The
your
issue is
personal opinion.
I've been thinking this entire time. It's one of those situations again of just like if it was in my face, I could tell you. But for now, I'm gonna go with I hate when a side character, specifically side characters, hate when a side character gets set up to do this really cool thing, and then a scene changes, and you cut back, and that side character is in the dirt.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that
that
shit.
is gross. That is gross. Like,
Do you have
sure,
an example?
there's probably
If
a
they're
few
going to
fairy tale.
fail, show it.
Yeah, if they're gonna fail, show them failing. I
At
want
least
to see
show
how
the
it happens.
struggle.
Hit me with that Goblin Slayer, you know?
Most people
Exactly.
I think the most reason people do that is to try and keep the abilities of who they lost to a secret, but that's so dumb. Let us learn through this guy.
The protagonist can still not know, but the audience should know. It's
Yeah,
an
well-
Abria Iyengar fucking classic of like, and what
Hold on.
the audience sees, and you
I
don't
have
see.
something here.
Okay.
The audience isn't going to snitch your villain. Writers.
Yeah, we're not gonna be like, bro, it's this.
Well, some people are
They
going to
can't
try,
hear us.
but they're going to fail.
They can't hear
yelling
us,
at a
bro. I'm
TV.
sorry.
But
Listen,
yeah,
it's like in... Like, you can show the guy, like getting hit. You can censor the move. You don't have... A lot of anime does it. Hell,
Yeah.
Goblin Slayer did it with the fucking teleportation skull. We didn't know what fucking hit him. We just know that orc got sliced to pieces, and we're like, damn, did he slash him up? Did he use some kind of like spell that we don't know? Does he have a secret technique? No, he just fucking put a fucking teleportation scroll at the bottom of the ocean and let that shit.
yeah, that is a good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
I do have one, but like it's kind of a fancy one. Like I don't mind it, but it's kind of gotten too far, and it is the perverted obsession that comes with anime.
Oh,
Yeah, I
the-
will say the perversion of any character, period.
Yes.
Shit
it's-
annoys me.
It's all right if you're making it like a little joke and stuff, like how they used to do it back. Like it used to be small, right?
It wasn't like
If it's an anime that's fully intended, that's
it
your
wasn't
cup of tea if you want to
it
fucking
wasn't
watch
Sanji
it. Whatever.
nearly dying because of a nosebleed.
that was fun.
I mean, that was funny because he wasn't like.
his
I don't
life
think he was-
literally being in danger.
Yeah,
if
but when
he
it
had
comes
another
to like,
nosebleed.
listen, that doesn't ruin the integrity of Sanji, like as a whole. Sanji's still
in
like a
your
really
opinion.
viable character.
It does to a
In
lot
my
of people.
opinion, it doesn't ruin. Why I say that is because I think Mineta could have been a really good
Well-
character if they dialed him all the way fucking down with that shit.
So, I had never watched My Hero, but
yeah.
a friend
but
of
even
mine
you heard of it.
sent me a bunch of clips about the character Mineta.
Mhm.
How much do you want him dead?
He okay, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this.
Maybe,
Yeah.
who knows?
We'll see.
In my personal experience with several issues, that is usually the behavior of someone crying for help.
Oh, okay. So you're most of the fandom. Okay.
Yeah. Like fucking Mineta.
Because-
Mineta is the case of fucking. Mineta's sad. At the
Wait,
end
did
of
you
the
not
day.
see how they fixed it? By the way, Half?
No.
They tied him.
he
They
got-
brainwashed him. They tied him.
Yeah,
to
he
a
got
chair.
brainwashed. Don't say they. Mina
Mina brainwashed him.
duct taped him to a chair, opened his eyes shut, and showed him something. We don't know what they showed him, but he wasn't the same afterwards. I
He
can tell
wasn't
you
the
that
same
much.
afterwards. Afterwards, he left the girls alone. He was never the same after that. We don't know what she did.
Here's the thing. I think Mineta just needed. We don't know what his quirk may have been doing to his body. There's a
I think it's
lot
the
of.
quirk.
It just made his hair sticky, bro. That's basically it.
That's
Well,
literally
here's
all
the
it is.
thing. Here's the thing. It might just be a genetic issue, and most of the time, certain effects happen because of that, including mental disorders.
There are a couple people who, then again, the most of the people then I can say, like, that's what the entire anime is about. So I don't really know if I can fucking ridicule it.
With Mineta, I've seen and I've heard people that have talked like that, and usually they are the people that need to help the most.
Well, the writer
True.
never like gives us like any screen time with Mineta's like
That's
Mineta
also
outside
the
of school,
thing.
right?
That's
Because
the problem as
we
well.
don't
You
know
don't
how
see
he-
anything else.
yeah, we don't know how he acts outside of school. We never see his parents. We know they exist. We don't know how they behave or their quirks or anything like that. So all we have like to get off of when it comes to his character is how he acts in the show.
And to be honest, he has a lot of good heroic parts that has nothing to do with his like stereotype.
He's kind of a little bitch.
And there's
I will say.
that's fine. I don't mind like a little bitch character, because then when they have
That's
their
just a
courageous
personality.
moments, it's great.
It
And
means
Stark is a very good example of that, because Stark is the definition of a wimp who has the power to smite God for some reason. But you know,
I think one of my most hated. I'll come back to My Hero. Well, actually, no. Let me stay on My Hero as one of my like tropes that I've seen that I dislike is forgotten side characters. We've talked about it.
oh
right?
my god.
Forgotten. Naruto suffers from it. My Hero
A lot.
suffers from it.
Ten, Ino, Choji. Should I
Like,
go on?
listen, 10-10 gets it the worst. At least Shikamaru got his own arc. Choji got a
Get a
moment
voice
in
him
the
an arc.
war. Choji got a moment in the war, a singular moment in the war. Ino got
Choji
a
got the voice of
singular
man,
moment
the
in
voice
the
of man
war.
arc too.
And then
Oh
all
my
three
God.
of them got
Shino.
one more moment together.
Yes.
Hold on. Well, listen, I'm kind of glad that he forgot about Shino.
shit
Because you know why I'm glad that he forgot about Shino? Because Shino is one of the only people in Naruto that has a clean win streak. Shino has never lost a fight ever.
You know what?
Ever.
Fair.
Bro has
He
a
don't lose like that.
clean 3-0 win
Bro,
streak.
where is Shino? Is Shino even in Boruto?
Yeah, he's a teacher.
Generations?
He basically replaces Iruka as like the teacher.
You let that boy teach kids, bro? He has
He's
a lot more
smart.
potential, but okay.
He's so intelligent. Oh wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
he could have been doing
I'm
a lot
basically
better.
complaining about fucking Naruto now. Naruto My Hero at this point, but because they're suffering the same thing. A thing that I don't like
Naruto,
about
My Hero.
Naruto that a lot of people like seem to like not like as well is the fact that a lot of a lot of people who complain about it don't necessarily like keep up with the show or with the manga, but they do have a point. Is that a lot of the like Konoha 12, the females just became housewives,
Yeah.
and they don't really do anything.
Well, okay.
But the thing is, right? the things are all, and that's the thing that we talked about is like them off-screen and things. Most of their jobs are really like important. Like I think if I remember correctly, Sakura's like the head doctor at the hospital or something. Ino replaced her dad as like the head interrogator / information intel gathering. And 1010 runs a weapon shop. Hinata's the head of the Hyuga clan. No, she gave that up to her sister, if I remember correctly.
Yes, she did, because she's a housewife. She's just a housewife.
So Hinata is literally one of the only housewives. She gave up the position of head of the Hyuga family to her sister, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think they addressed it or not, but I'm pretty sure she helped abolish the cage bird seal that they put on the branch members, because because not a lot of people know this, but Himawari, her sister, once Hinata became the head of the household, Himawari would have gotten the cage bird seal on her head because she would have become a member of the branch family, because she's not the head anymore. Because that's what happened to Neji's dad and Hinata's dad, because they're twin brothers. But yeah. But the thing is, Naruto fucking contradicts himself all the time, because Himari should have gotten the cage bird seal the moment she was born, but you know, it doesn't fucking matter, I guess. Plot holes everywhere. Another thing that I personally don't like when it comes to My Hero, and when it comes it's not necessarily a trope, it's more of a writing thing. When the writer introduces interesting like world building elements and then refuses to fully expand on them.
Yeah.
For instance, the anti-creature clan in My Hero, right? We only get a like miniature glimpse at the like pseudo racism between normal people and people with heteromorphic mutations, because of either they inherit it from their parents or it is because of a mutation quirk, right? They brought it up, they made it a whole deal, and then
never used it.
It's not that they never used it.
They dropped that bitch.
They barely touched it because I think they were scared to make it too real, right? Because, well, spoilers, I guess, for My Hero. But I don't think you guys care.
Bro, My Hero's been out for how long now?
It's been done for like almost a year now. It's fine.
That shit happened a while ago.
There is an arc in My Hero where we find out that Shoji, the reason he wears a mask all the time, cover his lower mouth, is because he has a bunch of scars, because he grew up in the countryside. And in the countryside, heteromorphs aren't very well, liked over there. They're seen as like certain monsters, second class citizens. Because he saved a girl from drowning in a river, the village people beat him up and scarred him.
They beat the dog shit out of him.
Beat the bricks out of him. All right. So we found that out, and then all of the kids were like, "Oh my gosh, racism exists," because most of them like lived in the city, and in the city, heteromorphs are like more common. They're more like accepted in the city than outside of the city. So they were very shocked, that racism exists. Oh my gosh. And then they learned about like the anti-creature cult, and then a few more like chapters later, when the villains were attacking the hospital that they kept Kurigiri in, Spinner, who is the leader of, well, brain dead leader at this point, because he's been stuffed with so many quirks that he's barely conscious anymore, like sentient at this point. We find out during that arc that, Star Wars reference, there was something called Order 66, where I think there was a mass genocide of heteromorphic people, right? They don't get into a lot of detail. They just mention it in one of the speeches that one of them will give him. And it was basically them rallying a bunch of angry heteromorphs to assist them in their evil deeds. They're like basically tricking them and using their anger, basically weaponizing pedestrians against the heroes is what they did. I know it was a whole thing, but it was like so small and they barely touched upon it. And I'm like, I would have loved if they like expanded more on this and gave this like a better like resolution. Another thing is the whole corrupted hero society, right? Because as we see in My Hero, right, it's been brought up multiple times by multiple like heroes and like villains even, that the hero system itself on a whole is flawed, right? It promotes certain behaviors and props up certain people, and it villainizes people and segregates people based on the type of quirks they have. A lot of the villains in My Hero are made because of the system that is in place. And even though we learn how
society.
Yeah, even though we learn how absolutely corrupt the system is, we hardly expand on it. We literally don't even resolve it. At the end of the anime, we just learned that, oh yeah, Deku's in his like teaching year now. It's like, oh, we're trying our best to change the system from the inside. Shit, I guess.
It's very anticlimactic.
It was literally the only thing that was resolved at the end of My Hero was All for One no longer being a thing. That's literally it. That is literally all that is resolved. Everything else, the racism for heteromorphs and the corrupt hero system still being in place, none of that is resolved. They're like, oh, they give you hope in the future. Like, yeah, we're gonna work on these things, and it's not gonna take it's not gonna change overnight, but we'll do it eventually. I'd like to at least get like a time skip, you know, like
this ain't Trigger, bro. I'm sorry.
I'd like to see like a 50-year time skip where the new generation is in and we get to see that the hero system was reformed, or like something more like things were put into place for like quirk learning or whatever the fuck, because a lot of problems in My Hero could be solved if people understood that how quirks worked more, which is stupid because quirks have been around for almost a century. So how do you not know how quirks work? You know, I don't want to talk about fucking My Hero anymore, man.
Big dog, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna be like very right now. I think you've been trigger pilled, bro, because only Trigger fucking does that shit half the time nowadays. Am I wrong?
Is it bad to want loose ends to be tied like at
it's
the
not,
end of the anime, man?
But I am saying that Trigger is probably one of the only people that do it the most anymore, and it's like satisfying. Well, that's it. Oh no, I lied. Demon Slayer did it, and it was really nice.
Long story short, the end of My Hero was mid.
You want to see more of the subplot?
I would like, if you're going to bring up subplots, finish them before the end of the anime.
Yes.
To be fair, he was in a predicament.
Finish them, or at least allude to them being solved. Not allude to them being like, oh, we're gonna start putting in effort right now. No, like that's cool and all. Show me the fucking results so I believe.
Yeah, vigilante ain't helping, dog.
Vigilante is about the past and how that system
It's
is
flawed.
bad still.
Which is why they're vigilantes.
That's why they
I do have one other trope that I really don't like, and it's a pretty common one.
Mm-hmm.
Love triangles.
I
love
disagree
love
with you
triangles.
heavily.
Okay, so
Unnecessary love triangles.
I disagree
Yes,
with you
I'm
heavily.
listening.
my only complaint is that a lot of the time it's a love arrow. It's never a love triangle. Not all 3 dots connect.
It's
They
usually
don't have equal feelings.
here's my 2 cents on dog.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, usually when it comes to love triangles, there's usually a fallback for the person that you know that's obviously not going to get the guy. I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah, there's no other.
My big issue with it is a lot of times it's just shoehorned in there to try and make sure to give certain characters a bit of quote unquote relatability. I don't know,
Huh?
because people
Can you
understand.
give an
love, I don't
example?
Yeah. I'm not.
Most of my thoughts go to non-anime stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. We're talking about media.
Take an
as a whole.
example. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. Ah, man, why am I blanking on the actual examples?
I don't know.
Look, I saw a video documentary about this show, Pair of Kings.
Pair of Kings.
I've heard that one.
It's
I
an old
wasn't
Disney.
aware
of
Disney.
this one.
It's a
There
Disney
was a
XD
love
show
triangle
where
in Pair of
Wait.
Kings.
Wait, hold up. It's the brothers. It's the stepbrothers that rule
Oh
an
yeah, I
island
know. Okay,
together,
I think I
right?
remember what you're talking about. They live on like an island.
What was the love triangle between that?
yeah, and one of them got
It's been
arrested
so
for a
long.
DUI, and they had to change out the brother and add a triplet.
Yep.
know-
What are you talking about?
Basically, first of all, one of the brothers, just a terrible person in general, always tried to get with a girl who was
Yeah,
not
that was
interested in him in the slightest.
Classic
That's
Disney
so
trope.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they'll just add another person, try and make the other jealous, and for some reason it works for no reason.
Even
I don't
though
think you can call that a triangle, bro.
yeah.
It's not. Love triangles never are.
Yeah, but it's usually consistent of 3 main people.
That's just the first one that came to mind. There's others that I can't think of.
There's a whole other issue with that there, which I understand, Reese. I hate
is
that
the-
fucking
I'm
that
not getting
fucking
into big Disney
stupid
right
ass
now.
trope.
I think
This is the
think
Disney
that-
romantic in me talking.
I don't want this person, but this person wants this person, so now
think
I
that
want this person.
falls under the umbrella of no chemistry romance.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Like
is the
romance
Demi-
that just-
Demi
I could go back to
romantic
Castlevania
Any
for that
sense.
one.
As a pansexual, I have to say this.
Don't
If
ever start
I-
that again.
If I don't know the person and I don't vibe with them, I'm never going to date them.
There is a relationship with that, and I'm gonna fucking do it again. Castlevania, bro, and I love it. And it is the relationship between what's her name? Is it Lenore or some shit like that? I don't fucking
Eleanor?
remember. Eleanor and the other guy, not Isaac,
What's his
the other
fucking-
one. It's straying on
Hector.
Hector, yes. It is because both of them hate the living fuck out of each other, right? And they're both very toxic people, but they kind of need each other to survive. So it's kind of that, well, I'll love
It's
you
codependency.
because I'm going to backstab you anyways.
And then there's some weird form of trust there.
There's a weird form of trust, but it's also like you're going to betray me eventually, but I'll be here for now.
That reminds
They
me
don't
of
love each
like,
other. Yeah, but they're just,
that reminds me of like my own, like one of my like tropes that I hate. I hate like
it is
betrayals that make
like
no
it's
sense.
Betrayals that make no sense.
It makes complete sense for why they did it, but it's more of a both of them are terrible people, but they both deserve each other type of situation.
You're like, no, I understand that. I'm talking about like when it doesn't make sense why someone betrays someone else.
Like, yeah. Well, like I really like this girl
out
and
of
whatnot,
nowhere.
but like my thoughts are telling me that it's bad, so I'm gonna backstab her because I'm never wrong.
I think that like falls under my like a pet peeve of mine in media with like misunderstandings that make no sense.
Oh.
When there's like a small misunderstanding or like a situation that could have been fixed,
Been resolved with talking,
with
and then it
talking,
explodes.
like I saw this person do this.
Don't
Therefore,
I fucking hate this trope.
I hate this person now because I saw them do something. I don't have the full context and I wasn't there from the beginning, but I saw a part that I didn't like, and instead of talking to them about it, I'm just going to ignore them and tell them that they're evil. Like,
instead of being a person and talking out the situation, no, I'm just going to backstab, maybe sometimes literally, because I can't have a conversation like a normal person.
Oh, you just reminded me of a trope that I do absolutely hate.
That, you know, if like, you know, human beings have emotions, right? I understand that, you know,
but there's still emotions.
But when I understand that logic gets thrown out the door when you're emotional, right? I get that. I understand that. But still, sometimes when there's a misunderstanding and then this person is like, oh, well, if they're going to do that, I'm going to do this, and they do something either equally as bad or worse. And then when the misunderstanding is like found out and they actually talk about it and they're like, oh, you didn't actually do something bad. Fuck, well, that doesn't take back what I did, and it ruins everything.
Yeah, you know what I hate more than that, though?
What?
There's one trope that I do hate more than that. It is, it's usually in romantic anime or like stuff where it's like, or not even anime sometimes. Sometimes it's in like reality shows, which makes it way worse. Where it's the girl and the guy likes the girl a lot. And obviously she doesn't like really reciprocate it that much, but she has him around because, you know, it's just like I'd rather have him there. Yeah. And then it like, or she likes him, but she's kind of like very stuck up about it in public. And she will do this thing where she berates him with her friends, and he finds out. And then there'll be like an entire arc where she literally gets what she deserves, and he stops talking to her altogether and just flat out ignores her.
I know what
and then for some fucking reason,
I know what he's talking about too.
He decides to forgive her, and everything just goes back to normal. Like if she didn't just backstab him in the fucking
chest. You're talking about the anime Dreaming Boy Wakes Up, or what the fuck it's called.
I'm not talking about that alone. There are a bunch of them.
I know there's a bunch of them, but that one specifically pisses me off because she doesn't deserve him. She doesn't fucking deserve him.
The worst thing is that they brought like 4 other girls who were perfect.
Who was actually perfect for him. Because
and then he fucking crawled the bag.
For those of you that don't let me give you the brief synopsis, right? So this guy, right? Average anime guy, right? Japanese anime guy. This girl, he likes her, right? He didn't like her at first. He just saw that she was lonely and she didn't have any friends. So he's like, me as a good human being, I don't like seeing people alone. So he goes.
Well, that was a reason.
You know, it was because she was alone. He went talk to her, and then they became like good friends. And because of their antics, she became relatively popular in their old school, right? And then they went to high school together. And the same thing was happening. She was cold and aloof, and she's a very private person, and she wasn't, having any friends, right? So he does his usual stick. She becomes popular, but then she does the classic tsundere thing, and she berates him. And while she's berating him, a soccer ball from the soccer field almost decks him in the face, right? But it barely misses him. No, it didn't. It misses him. It misses him.
I'll look up the scene right.
Well, go ahead. But from what I remember, it misses him, and he gets like a realization. Like he snaps.
I'm in the anime again.
Into real, it's called Dreaming Boy Wakes to Reality or something like that, and he's like, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna stop doing my antics with you. I think you'd be better off without me. And so he does. He fucks off. He leaves her alone. He stops talking to her, and she becomes popular. People start talking to her more. She gets a group of friends, and he just ignores her and goes about his day and lives his life, and he's happy. He's happy that she's happy. He decides to support her from a distance. And classic tsundere thing, whenever like she notices that for some reason he's chilling without her, he's happier without her, other girls are talking to him, she gets all moody and jealous for some reason and tries to pull him out of the situation. And then when they're together again, still does the tsundere shit and like berates him for some reason. And then he's like, oh shit, my bad, original gangster. I'll just leave you alone more, even though you're the one who came and grabbed me. And then he... What pisses me off about the anime is that it ends with almost no consequence for her, because she like comes crawling back to him. He forgives her and then immediately confesses afterwards, and they're a big happy couple now, and that's how the anime ends. And I'm like, why?
It made no sense. He had so many better candidates.
No sense. He had so many better options than the girl that literally publicly humiliates him all the time. He must be a masochist. He has to be. There's like no other reason why he would go back to her.
I feel like, it's more of a Stockholm. I wouldn't say Stockholm.
I wouldn't say Stockholm syndrome.
But like you like this girl for so long that like you really can't really see any other option. Also, the reason why he likes her so much is because when he was alone and not talking, she was the only person that showed him kindness when they were in middle school, which is why he's obsessed with it.
I don't mind the tsundere trope when it's done correctly, okay? But when it's not done correctly is when I draw the line.
There are a couple animes though where
like unbearably annoying.
Somebody else give me.
That's when I draw the line.
There's another.
Hello, Moth.
It's Moth.
Hello, Moth.
Oh,
we're in a podcast right now.
Yeah, he knows. We talked about it.
Oh,
okay, hold on. Let me.
I think it's time to move rooms.
I think it's time to move rooms. All right. Like, I didn't want to do this. But I do have a bigger room for us.
Don't fucking lie.
Do not send us there.
Don't ask me where I got it from. I rented from this guy named Kane. Okay. We'll be fine. I promise. We'll be fine.
Well, now you gotta change the text back to white because now it's fucked up.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll
you just need to make it shorter and put it on the.
Yeah, I just have to move it up. I just have to move it up. There you go.
You can just put me in the corner.
No, it's okay. We have a place for you.
Shrink them all.
Yeah, I gotta shrink everyone for purpose. There we go.
You should learn to set up multiple LT.
I could. I just didn't want to.
Yeah. Be better next episode, okay? I'm kind of
okay, Mr. PR manager.
Goddamn right.
I'll go get our other guests, but you guys can talk like that.
Are we still on the?
Can you send me?
I feel like we should move on to the next topic.
Yeah, put the next topic on one time. We've been on this for almost like an hour. Then.
No, it's been like 20 something minutes. But yeah, send me portfolios.
I already did.
Hey, you just did? Okay.
New topic. I didn't.
New topic, please.
Okay. Oh right. So since we were like talking about, you know, we naturally start talking about stuff we don't like. If you have, okay, let's say you have a favorite, like a medium, right? A show or something, right? But there's one thing in that show that ruins it for you, right? The next topic is, how would you fix a piece of media to make it better, in your opinion? It could be an anime, could be a show.
I have my answer for 2 shows.
Okay.
But one of them is massive spoilers for Undead Unlock.
Oh, you can tell it to me.
I don't really care about spoilers for Undead Unlock. So
yeah, but if you're gonna
spoilers for whoever watches this.
Yeah, we can't really do that.
You know, fair enough.
But I'll say the other one for One Piece, and that is just the character of Carrot. Somebody who was made to be almost like they were the perfect fit for a Straw Hat. They had a role, they had a dream, they had good fighting skills. They were a pretty interesting character that went well with all the other main characters. And then they were just thrown out of the show with no fanfare and put into a position of power which they have no right to have.
I don't know.
Made the leader of an entire country.
I don't think
because they went on a boat ride.
No, she was made the leader of the entire country because she had skills and the power to back it the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Everybody in that country had as much skill as she did.
Not really, because most of them couldn't transform onto a full moon.
That's their whole thing.
Yeah, not all of them can do it. It's
well,
not like
Oh, that's but either way,
Beppo fucking couldn't unlock it until he got the Rumble Balls.
That just let him do it outside of the full moon. And either way, there were other people in high standing already that could.
Don't worry, bro. She's gonna come back.
She better. She has no right to. Like, there's no reason.
I think that's such a minuscule change, though.
It is, but they could have at least set her out better than, hey, you're the leader of this country now.
What do you think they did for Vivi?
Well, Vivi was already the leader, and Vivi's still technically a Straw Hat.
Vivi was a princess. So Carrot isn't.
No, she isn't. They never actually invited her.
Yeah, they didn't really invite Junpei either, but like,
yes, they
after
did.
a while, yeah, not the first time.
Yes, they did.
You know what?
Luffy
Maybe
was,
I'm remembering.
Like, Jinbei
you're
was
right.
giving blood to Luffy, and Luffy was just like, "Hey, join my crew." And Jinbei responded, "All right, but I have something to do first."
I don't. You know what? Let's not.
This is why anime was a mistake.
That's why. Okay.
Alright, so
hold on. Pause. You can't say that after all this shit that we just talked about for the past like 2 hours.
That's exactly why I'm just saying it.
The
He's being
Mothman, the
conservative.
one that does not
The one that doesn't even touch
watch
anime.
anime.
I
He's
just
the one
want
who
to
talks.
introduce some chaos to the.
There's already
Podcast.
chaos here. What are you talking about?
But anyway,
Well, I got
I
a
will-
reaction out of you, so I'm
Con-
happy.
con-
Okay,
Continuing
if
on
there's
topic.
one thing I have to change, it's Naruto. Specifically, right? And if no one, many people should agree with me. Neji did not deserve to fucking die.
that's
I
my
don't
point.
think
Dap me up.
that boy
Knock
should
me
have
up.
died.
Ne-
be
there
fair.
was there was no
There was
reason.
zero reason
There was
for Neji to die.
realistic reason for Neji to die.
Besides plot.
They did that because they wanted him out. They were like, Tenten needs to be lonely. That's exactly what I thought. That's the reason.
Neji did not need to die. Neji was probably one of the most capable and one of the strongest ninjas out of the Boys to Men group. And you're telling me that he didn't survive. I don't remember what killed him, but I knew it was something that probably
The
shouldn't have.
Tails shot some splinters at them. Hinata was about to protective 64 palm deflect that shit, and Neji, for some reason, decided to jump in front of her and take it.
You mean the guy that counters everything?
Fucking Piccolo.
The guy that is supposed to be able to fucking deflect projectiles with his 64 palm rotation. That guy,
Yeah. That guy?
Him.
That guy got hit?
impaled by shards, by splinters.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna be very. Even if he got impaled by splinters, and there's something called substitution jutsu.
Yes.
I was about to say.
Which he
Like,
conveniently
I'm just-
forgot how to do.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's like this gonna sound fucked up, and I'm sorry for Bleach fans, but it's like every single movie in Bleach where they forget that when they're fighting characters, they can just instant Bankai.
Yeah.
They have to wait until it's plot relevant.
They gotta wait until like people are in danger to Bankai. Same thing with Dragon Ball.
Bro, it's aura farming. They're just over.
It is.
They're aura farming, bro. They're waiting till the last minute.
It's the
Pop out
all
their
right
power up.
Super Saiyan thing. That's why Bridges makes so much fun of me.
I have to die for tax purposes.
Down. We just got him, bro.
Just got
No,
him.
I'm reacting to what you just said.
Oh,
I have to die
Okay.
for tax purposes. He says.
that's it. It's a
I
touch
know
That's,
that's
okay,
fair.
that's basically what was
I have to
happening.
die
Bro,
now.
it's fine. The returns are gonna be crazy.
The life insurance policy that I put out, you're gonna help us. Trust me. Trust.
So
Trust.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent
You go off.
because it's
King.
about one of my favorite series,
Go off. King.
Jurassic Park.
Interesting pick.
Don't even
Let
get me
me-
started.
Let me start off. I want a true rendition of the books because the books are fucking horrifying. And I don't want them to do the safe thing and not show certain scenes. No, I want them to go the full way. Jurassic Park is a horror series. It continued to be a horror series for the longest time, and they need to stop making Jurassic World. I like that they expanded on, yes, the world is existing now with dinosaurs. That's cool and all. But the writing is fucking terrible with how they justify genetic hybrids and the monstrosities that they made.
Oh.
So much so that Netflix, with Camp Cretaceous, explained a lot of their plot holes and made the story make sense. And it was, for a kid's show, it is fucking terrifying.
That's sort of the thing with like writing kind of bothers me whenever oh, you have to look at this other thing for it to make sense. It's like I'm passing the buck to someone else.
Exactly. And then someone understood the assignment, and that's how we got Camp Cretaceous. And Camp Cretaceous is the most Jurassic Park I've seen in a very long time.
I think I remember hearing you talk about this before.
Yes.
So I'm
Most
gonna
likely.
go get myself my coffee. I'll be back.
All right.
I will. So how I would fix this is just reboot the series. Just follow the novel. It's horrifying, and it's
You're asking for a
would
lot,
be
big
an
dog.
Bro
I
said
would-
scrap everything, start anew.
To be honest, yeah.
I don't care if you made 2 timelines. Give me some
Alright.
analog dinosaur fucking horror, like I want.
I do have another one.
Go ahead.
I don't know how much people are gonna fucking know this because not a lot of people watch, apparently. Blue Exorcist.
I'm
I
right
need
here
you
with
to
you, buddy.
do one thing for me, and that is delete the entirety of season 2 and season 3. That's all
Fuck
I need from you,
those
big dog. Fuck those seasons. I don't need a season detailing what happened in the middle of season 1. It was good, but I
Season
didn't
2
need it.
just explained every fucking thing happened through episode 5 through 12.
It's everything that happened to episode 5 through 7, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Because I
they-
don't know
they
why
made
we
up with
needed
him,
a
like, 2 episodes
multi-episode
after.
recap.
They went fucking dumb with that shit.
Oh my fucking god.
It was so fucking stupid. And it's just like, okay, so why are we at this place? Why do they hate him again? And then like you go through and you're like, oh, this is when they found out that he was a fucking Satan's child. And it's like, why are we talking about this? Didn't we like
They already
Did it?
accepted this. This was done with.
Yeah, I didn't need the like the reason of how they made up. They already made up.
Jesus Christ.
They could have had it in an OVA pattern, and I would have been like, okay, then that makes sense. They made it a whole season, and season 3 just looks wrong and sounds wrong.
It doesn't even. It just. I could tell it's not edited right either. It is very lazy
feels
editing.
Wrong. It feels wrong, so wrong. I want to watch. There's also another one that I want to watch called Beginning of the End, which is a webtoon series that I've been reading recently. I don't think I want to watch it anymore because people said that the animation is very disgusting and the editing is terrible.
Oh
And
yeah, I heard that too. I heard that there was.
I'm not gonna lie, just read it. It is so much better. The art style is so clean, so much cleaner. It's great. They don't do it justice. I'm gonna tell you that very much.
I heard
They
I
do
heard
not do that shit.
People were waiting and so excited for the anime to come out, and then it was utter
Didn't
dog
happen.
shit. The animation.
It is so bad, right? It's not even funny. And the worst part is because they use the book stuff for it. We call it again. The book title, I think, is one of the book cover is one of the things, and the animation looks like decent when it's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like it's very accurate to the webtoons, but the editing is so bad.
I've actually thought of one, a proper one, and not a half-baked answer. The Future Trunks arc in Dragon Ball Super.
Cook. Go cook.
It's
Super?
super.
In
Super.
Super.
In Super specifically.
Yes.
Samasu, Goku Black, whatever arc you want to call it, that. It had so much potential. So much. And they squandered it. It could have been so cool. There's a video by Totally Not Mark. Totally Not Mark did a couple of videos, where he rewrote the Future Trunks arc. And he did a really, really good job of it. And that's how I would want it done. Because it's very cohesive. it makes fucking sense and it ends in a good way. Like, the ending of that arc, one, the animation is absolute ass at the end. That hurts my soul more than anything. It doesn't look very good in certain parts, which is Dragon Ball Super suffered from that a lot. But fucking just they missed everything in the very end. It was like they were fumbling for straws, almost, is what it feels like. Because then they had to pull out, Zeno comes in and just erases the entire timeline. Fuck, that's not. God damn it.
Alright. Fucking Christ. I decided to skim through the beginning of the end, bro. I fucking don't like it. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I have a list. Okay, I have a list of things, right? First things first, okay? How to fix your Dragon Ball, the entire series. Boom, make GT canon.
Is
Secondly,
that how we fix it?
You know what?
In my opinion,
I'm not
just
gonna
make
lie.
GT canon.
GT wasn't as bad as people think it was.
No,
Just-
no.
Wait, hold on.
Just
We
bad.
make
Just
no,
carry GT Pan out in the woods and get rid of her, and we can talk. You know?
They
shoot
just
her in
gotta-
the back of the head.
No,
behind the
they just
barn
gotta-
and
you
we're
just
good.
gotta you have to fix Pan. That can be done easily.
That's quite literally the only thing that I have. The
Listen,
only thing I
no,
have with
in my
My
personal
only-
opinion, the way to fix GT, if we're talking about GT specifically, right? Get rid of the baby arc. The baby arc didn't need to happen.
What baby
Biggest
arc? What are you
waste of
talking about?
time. What?
What are you talking about?
What baby arc? That should never happen.
Yeah. Oh, no, actually, hold on. Talk about babe. No, we shouldn't. Because it has one of the coldest fucking iterations of Goku ever.
No, listen, right? We can introduce Super Saiyan 4 in a better way.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It has one of my favorite scenes. You can't. One of my favorite scenes
When
is
he
him letting
backhands
baby go, and then him going, hold on, I let him leave for a reason, and then Kamehameha him from Earth into the fucking sun. He let that man leave so he could blitz the shit out of him. That is my favorite scene.
My favorite scene is when they were all powering up and then Pan came over and powered up too, and he just looked at her in disgust and backhanded her away.
I don't think that's real. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I hope it's real. I don't remember, but I hope it's real.
Pretty sure. But I'm not gonna lie, that scene where Pan's like, why did you let baby go? And he just didn't say anything. And just charged up a fully powered Kamehameha.
And blitzed him into the sun.
And
Okay.
just blitzed him into the sun.
Okay, we can keep that.
That's the only reason why the baby arc can
Let me
stay.
move on.
Also, it's because Vegeta needed Vegeta needed that recollection.
Round real quick. Okay.
Fixing Dragon Ball on a whole. Make Vegeta actually good. And not just a background character half the time.
Yeah,
because
make
Toriyama
Vegeta
doesn't know how to
better.
make dual protagonists.
Toriyama
God rest his
doesn't
soul.
like
Okay,
to
so
make Vegeta
pause.
win, bro.
Rewind.
Give Vegeta his
Toriyama
W's.
worked until fucking Z.
Yeah, I know. But even in Z, Vegeta gets his occasional dub, but then it swiftly, and mind you, the Cell arc, I have no complaints about. The Cell arc, no complaints. But Majin Buu,
Yeah,
that,
it's because
I have a few complaints because
It
he's
is-
kind of,
Mm.
but like,
Vegeta really and truly isn't the second protagonist.
he, at the end of the day, he kind of is, especially with Super. Like,
Well, he's more of a Joey Wheeler than anything, to be honest with you.
and another thing that upsets me, fucking Gohan not getting his time in the sun
Okay.
and the Boo arc.
That I can agree with you, because what was supposed to happen
He was
is
supposed
that
to be the main
after the
character.
Cell arc, Gohan was supposed to take over after the Cell arc. But people said, Toriyama, but Goku's more popular. So we have to let Goku stay. And then they just let him stay. Because what was happening? Goku was supposed to be in retirement and he was going to train somebody else off on the side. Gohan was going to be the big guy.
Yeah, it's like Gohan, man.
I kid you not. I love Gohan, and I love what they did for him in Super, which a lot of people fucking hated. They're like, he doesn't deserve peace because of, like, if you went to a traumatic event twice, bro, I think it's well deserved. That motherfucker was strong as fuck.
His whole bit is Gohan's the strongest in the universe, but he does nothing about it. That's the whole bit behind Gohan.
Well, it's because Gohan, again. Well, I can't say Gohan hasn't been through a lot, because he has been through a lot. The thing is that Gohan
more
actively,
than like most of the characters.
Gohan actively, and I think really and truly, this is not super bad for the writing. Is that Gohan doesn't like fighting? I don't think it's super bad.
No, having Gohan dislike fighting is a perfect character trait. He doesn't have to like fighting. He just has the responsibility.
I don't think it's a. Well, it's more. I think it's more of the way of how the Z fighters are as well. But it is because Goten brings that like full circle around, so it kind of balances it out. But it is I don't like fighting, but if I must, I will. But most of the instances when it comes to like them fighting big bad evil people, it's basically their fault, you know, which is what Gohan has come to a consensus of. That's why he hates fighting, because it's always like drawn out. Superheroes didn't do that. They had him fight one consistent person, and it wasn't like a big transformation. It was a guy that was contained, and then they went straight to fighting. There was no extra transformation that Gohan had to fight, or there was no prolonged fighting in terms of like a super big evil bad. It was just one consistent guy.
I will say the Cell arc holds a very special place in my heart, and it's very much sort of like rose-tinted glasses type deal, because especially with what Dragon Ball Z Abridged did for it. I know it's not its own dub or anything. That's not what I'm getting at. But Dragon Ball Z Abridged did such a good job in the serious bits, especially with Gohan. It just it gives it so much more meaning to me, and that's why it hurts so much more that they fucking ripped away what Gohan could have been.
I love what they did with him in Super. They did him justice, though. I will tell you that.
Hold on, and I will say, in all the good that Dragon Ball Z Abridged did, right? There's one thing I cannot forgive them for, and even I fell victim to this for a time, but I've opened my eyes to it. It's the whole Goku's a bad father thing.
Okay.
That was,
oh my god.
That was pioneered. That was mostly pioneered by
Abridged. It was already happening before the Abridged. That's where they got it from. But they did pioneer it. They themselves have gone on the record and said we probably shouldn't have gone as hard as we did, because it did leave a bad taste in the community. But
it left a terrible taste.
The way it fully encircles in the Abridged, a lot of people miss out on. They don't fully recognize the way it ends, which is Goku isn't a bad father. Goku's never around. He doesn't know his kid. Well, he's not had the chance to be a father. And the second he does everything he can to make sure that Gohan is, that he starts spending time with him.
To be honest, that is not the consensus because Goku spent every waking moment. We're talking about Goku. We're not talking about Z. We're talking about from since he was born. Gohan has been attached to Goku by the literal fucking hip the entire time. Only until Raditz came and he had to sacrifice himself. And the only reason why Chi-Chi didn't know about it is because he was dying right at that second. And the only person that was there was Piccolo. And him, knowing good-natured people, gave Piccolo the task. Which is the main reason why people say he's a bad father. He was dying. Who else would he ask? Was he gonna call Chi-Chi real quick?
Piccolo was literally the only other person there because all the other Z fighters were back at Kami House.
All the other Z fighters were back at Kami House. Piccolo was still an enemy. And the only other person was Raditz, who was gonna kill him anyways and was dying. And he doesn't have time. He didn't have instant transmission. He couldn't pop in and be like, here's our son, I'm dying now. And then when he came back, the first person he was going for was Gohan. After that, they were still neck and neck until he sacrificed himself to save Gohan again.
Now, one of the main arguments that people have against the Goku, well, people have for the Goku's a bad father argument is, if Goku is such a good father, why did he let, one, Cell heal with a sensu beam, and two, send his son out there to fight Cell? And my answer to that is, well, probably because Goku, in the hyperbolic time chamber, knew that Gohan could go Super Saiyan 2 and that Gohan was way stronger than him. So what does he do? He steps back and lets his son, his flesh and blood, the person he believes in, take the spotlight away from him. Because he wants Gohan to know and believe in himself that he is strong and he can protect the Earth if Goku is no longer around. Because remember, at this point, Goku has died once before, right? He died in the Raditz arc. He went to King Kai, he trained. This is also after they went to Namek and he fought Frieza. And he's like, damn, I've nearly died a bunch of times. I might not be able to do this by myself. My son, who has been with me and I have seen multiple times that has the potential to be stronger than me, I'm going to give him his... The Cell Games, in my opinion, was basically Gohan's coming of age ceremony.
Yeah.
Him
was
finally
100%.
proving that he deserves to be a part of this group, that he is strong, even stronger than his dad. And Goku gave him that opportunity.
There's the one thing though is just like Gohan doesn't like fighting.
It's very, to be fair, it is very understandable if you've watched since Dragon Ball.
Like, I get it. I get where it is. I get where all of it leads. I have no issues with the Cell arc, period. The Cell arc, in my opinion, leave it as is, right? That, even in, like, just by base Dragon Ball Z, right? No issues with the Cell arc.
All right,
that
but here's the...
is fine.
Here's the thing, though, that a lot of people don't fucking bring up, and I hate this. Even though he didn't like fighting, after Goku died to Cell, remember, Goku wasn't supposed to come back. That was it, right? Gohan still continued to train. He still fought. He helped train Goten. Goten didn't know his father. I'm just saying, there's a lot of speculations that go around in the Dragon Ball community, and I don't think they should be there.
That's because Dragon Ball fans don't watch their own show. We've been over this.
They don't read.
They don't read
watch
the
their own
manga
show.
and they don't watch their own show.
Also, the music is not looping again.
Yeah, it's the music.
Okay.
But basically, listen, we've made our peace. That was supposed to be my rapid fire thing, but of course, it's been.
I'm sorry. It hits me. It hurts me because he is my favorite character in the show.
Yeah,
and it hurts me when people talk shit about him.
I do like me. Listen, I have always been a Vegeta fan. I love Piccolo and I love Gohan. Those are my top 3. That's why whenever Vegeta gets
people give me weird looks when I say I like Piccolo as my favorite character.
He's such a good character, though.
He is. He should be. He's one of the best.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay.
I don't think you're following the conversation.
That's fine.
I have been following the conversation. I'm gonna let y'all continue.
Yeah, you have unfortunately no input.
No, I don't.
Well, what about a series you?
I didn't even get to finish mine.
You've been hey, but
I didn't get to finish mine. Anyways, Moth. Is there a show or like an anime or a show that you like, but there's one thing in it, there's a thing in it that you don't like? How do you think you could fix that thing to be better, in your opinion?
Yeah.
I think it would be an interesting experiment to give if the Star Wars sequel trilogy were given to me.
You know what?
Ooh.
You know what?
The sequel?
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean exactly? I want context to this.
Because something that right before seeing the Force Awakens, what I wanted to see out of the sequel trilogy was like what happens to the Empire and the people living in it and the people who legitimately believed in the Empire and all that stuff, like the people that were born into it. This is our way of life, and the kind of people that are in universe are like the Death Star from episode 4 was a terrorist attack, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Look at from the perspective of people in the Empire, it probably was, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I mean they were rebels, they were terrorists. This is a fact that I think most people have come to just accept.
Yeah, that sort of thing would. What was that? Oh, that was the bot.
bot.
Never mind. That sort of thing is where I would like to start with the world building of the sequel trilogy.
They actually covered a little bit this in the Book of Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, and the Mandalorian.
Haven't seen them.
They're really good. I do recommend them.
Haven't seen them, and since I'm talking specifically, I don't want to brush you off like that, but I am talking specifically like the self-contained sequel trilogy. If it were like self-contained.
Oh yeah.
That being said, though, there are some pretty good things world building wise that frankly should be in the sequels, and the world building specifically, like in the expanded universe before it was like Disney retconned it. There was
the legacy.
The legacy stuff. Some of the legacy stuff was really good and honestly a bit more realistic because the Empire is not going to just disappear overnight because the Emperor is dead. That's not how
No.
it works.
It takes minimum 15 years just
that
to
is
even
if
begin dismantling that system.
that is if like they don't elect someone else new either, because they think that the
and
empire is
there's
just going to
there's
stop at one
also
person.
that they might just elect somebody else to be emperor, and he's like, you know what? The Republic and all that, let's stop fighting and coexist. And then the galaxy is just like split in half between the Republic and the Empire.
Basically.
I think that would have been a bit more realistic, a more interesting
Yeah, but
point for the sequels if they had just done that one world building thing. They would have had a lot of, and I do mean a lot of, storytelling potential just from that.
I mean, it could have also gone the way of, well, just because you take down one big fry doesn't mean that the empire is not gonna still be standing.
There's
could have continued of, oh, it's been worse ever since we took down the first person, because now we have another person who's a lot more ruthless.
And there's also there's this like real world paradox, right, where the dictator, he's evil and stuff, but if we get rid of him, something even worse is going to happen, and besides, he's keeping everything together, and the trains run on time.
Yeah, it kind of puts everyone else's world out of whack. I do understand what you mean. It's like, you have the small resistance of people who are like fighting and struggling. There's a bunch of like free planets that are out here being like destroyed, and it is terrible. But after, like, people who don't resist, they live comfortable lives.
The Empire leaves them alone.
The Wookiees fought back because the Wookiees, they should have left Kashyyyk alone. They should have left that planet alone.
And there's also, that's a good point too, because there's always going to be pockets of resistance no matter what, because people kind of just they kind of like the idea of doing their own thing.
That is why I do like, they did make a spin-off series for it. That is why I like, what is it called again? Fuck, I don't remember what it is, but it's basically where they gave a bunch of animators, including like people who make studios that make anime, to make their own interpretation of Star Wars, and some of those are actually really decent.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's
forgot the name of it too. I think it was like
they made a season 2, but I didn't.
Star Wars. Wasn't it called Star Wars?
The Clone Wars anime?
Not the Clone Wars.
No.
It is like Love, Death, and Robot. It does each episode is a different story interpreted by a different animator of how they think.
Star Wars being reimagined, but
it's not short.
What was it called? I know Trigger did one for them.
Trigger did one, which was probably one of the ones that I liked, which was two twins.
No.
I think it was two twins that were raised in the way of the Sith. A boy and a girl, and basically one twin basically was like, the stuff that we're doing is, it's called Visions. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, well, I think that all the stuff that we're doing is terrible, even though they're basically raised that way. Yeah. And then the other is like, well, I don't think that way, and we've never been steered wrong before, and it turns into basically awakening of a Jedi and the birth of a new Sith type ordeal.
Yeah.
They do have a season 2 I have not watched yet, though. I really need to.
So that's one thing I would do to the sequel trilogy, just to change it up. A second thing I would do, I would actually put like, one of the biggest criticisms of the sequel trilogy is, I'm just gonna say it, one of the biggest criticisms of the sequel trilogy is Rey. I would have some way of explaining like the Force thing, but I would also kind of avoid having her be related to somebody from the prequels or something like that, like Palpatine or whatever it was that they did.
It was
with...
Palpatine.
It was Palpatine.
I thought that was a joke.
No, she's
no,
dead ass related to
genuinely
Palpatine.
Related to Palpatine.
I need to actually watch the Rise of... What's the 9th film called?
I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like we all need to sit down and watch like Vision.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Does seem like
So
Finn had so much potential and they squandered it.
That was going to be my number 3, but yeah, if he was just a guy who used to be a stormtrooper and you explored his perspective from that and gave him a particular set of skills, that would have been a great character.
yes.
yeah, it would have.
I'm also of the opinion that, like... Okay, so on the spot, here's how I would change up Rey, with the caveat being that I have not seen the 9th film.
Okay.
But her father is like a miner somewhere on some asteroid.
Okay.
Apparently, somewhere along the line, he was related to some Jedi that was killed in Order 66 or whatever. But because of things, he just slipped through the cracks, and now he's raised in obscurity and some minor. And he and his, you know what? He and the mother are not married. They're, in fact, at one point in their lives, they're hopeless drug addicts, and they legit sell their
Death stick
daughter.
addicts.
They legit sell their daughter for the next hit.
That would make sense.
Let's actually go with that, and say that later on the father's like, wait, what? I don't want to live this way. I used to have a daughter. What happened to her?
Death sticks, man. Death sticks.
And you can open up some underworld subplots with that, just with that. And then later on in the, I don't know, let's say that it's the high point of the second movie, because in the typical Star Wars fashion, you have the first movie introducing everyone, the second movie where everything goes bad, and then the third movie where everything fixes itself. And let's say at the high point of the second movie, when things are about to go really bad, Rey is helping people from the same mining station that her dad used to work at or something, and because Empire and stuff, there's an evacuation, and she and her friends have to help everybody get out, and the dad is in the crowd, and as the crowd is trying to get out, he's trying to get to her because he sees her, and at one point Rey sees him, but because she has to make a choice now, like, that's your dad. Do you want to go after him? Do you want to, the whole thing you've been going after this whole time, do you really want that? But you might sacrifice everybody, and she chooses to save everybody and let him go or something. This is just on the spot stuff that I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
It already sounds more interesting than whatever the fuck they were doing.
I would also, moving on to my number 3, like I said, Finn. Honestly, he was probably my favorite potential character. Specifically because of the Stormtrooper thing, and this is why it was important to mention the world building with the Empire first. Because the biggest thing I would do to change him, other than make him an actual serious character, because he was treated as a joke in the second movie for some reason, I would have him be a stormtrooper who, for whatever reason, is thrown under the bus. Maybe we keep that first scene in the first movie, like the massacre, we keep that. And he deserts because of that, but that's also going to be, that's going to necessitate the fact, that's going to necessitate we need more stormtrooper characters to see what his desertion actually does to morale and stuff like that. Like, let's put his desertion in context.
Mm-hmm.
People
Like what
who
Clone
do.
Wars did.
People he knew, and you know what, we could even make Captain Phasma a actual character.
It would be interesting if she was a fling.
She
I
was,
don't know
I was
about. I don't
very
know if I would
interested
go
in her.
that far, but I would say something like, "Oh, you had a desertion happen under your watch. Now you're under investigation, and eventually other things start going wrong. And as she tries to prove herself, and she eventually cracks under the pressure, like legit, let her go insane in the third movie." And have her go down in like a legit blaze of glory, which causes problems for everybody. Because she just lost her mind. I don't know, I'm spitballing here with Phasma, but something other than the cool armor. Which,
In the chrome armor.
the
Which
chrome
can we
armor,
get a
which
redesign
apparently-
then?
I don't know if I would necessarily redesign it. I would maybe put it into context again. Like, make it an actual thing, and it's important that it's an actual thing, but maybe, you know what, maybe it's a sign of her rank and the investigation and stuff is like, you not only are you going to lose rank, you're going to lose your armor, you're going to lose everything because of Finn deserting.
And that's why the grudge is so strong.
Yeah, because it kind of comes out of nowhere in the Last Jedi. This would explain it.
That makes sense to me.
Ooh, Deltarune is now available on Steam.
Yep,
It's been available.
it's $25.
You know what? Fair enough.
Should add to my wish
Tough
list.
shit.
I mean, it's Toby motherfucking Fox. He deserves
He
it.
deserves it, yes. How long has
Well,
this been in development?
Years.
2019, I think? No.
Hold on.
I think
It
it's
might
been
actually be
longer than that,
2019.
right? Because even I know who this guy is.
Well, Undertale was
Undertale came out
2015.
2015, yeah.
Deltarune was October 31st, 2018.
Okay.
Okay, so I was
When
was
did
close.
Chapter 2 come out?
Chapter 2 had to have been like 2020.
Chapter 2 was, I think, 2019?
2027? Oh, September 17th, 2021.
2021. There was a
It's
3-year
been 4
gap.
years.
So it's been 4 years, and we're getting 2 chapters.
Yeah, that's why we're getting 2
And
chapters.
there's still
'cause-
more to come.
Yeah.
There's like, what, 8
There's also
chapters
fan
in
games
total
because
or something?
there's fan games. We're not sure. I think he did say that he was going to make 5 and 6.
Yeah. Something
I think-
completely unrelated, but I've changed the subject once already. Why not change it another? While we're on the topic of media that we like, just bear with me here. I'll be as brief as I possibly can be. Halo.
Not gonna work. Ooh, that's not gonna work. Okay.
There's one thing. The Halo Legends collection of short films. There's 4. There is 4 of those short films that I wish were genuinely a part of the canon because they would slot in so perfectly. It's The Duel, Homecoming, Prototype, and The Babysitter. Those 4
would slot in so perfectly. But since they're a part of Halo Legends, they just get tossed in the non-canon corner, and it hurts my soul because The Duel is just a really cool short film about an arbiter, not the arbiter, but an arbiter from history fighting for ideals. It's very like feudal Japan, samurai type shit.
Yeah, kind of like the first Vision episode.
And it's so cool. Homecoming is just the short film about Daisy dying. The prototype is about a basically broken man who shows no emotion. Is called Ghost because he shows no emotion, to the point where like other Marines can recognize him by that moniker. Getting in a suit of souped up Mjolnir armor and just buying time for civilians to evac off of planet, and then proceeds to blow himself up to even further stop the Covenant. And one of the final lines in that is what his final line is, "Be human," which is, it ties back to the very beginning of the movie. You gotta watch it. And then The Babysitter, which is where Cal dies. Yes, the same Cal.
Really now, can tell.
Yeah, but that one just fits so perfectly too, because it's the only media representation we have of Cal that I know of. And it works so perfectly because it's about an assassination attempt on a Covenant prophet. That's it. That's the whole premise. And it's just so beautifully animated in all of the things. And it's where Cal dies, which is not the important bit, but it is a bit that is important. But if I could just those four, if we could just consider those canon, my life will be yours. Like, I just need those four, because they don't change anything. They merely add and expand, which is good, because it's really well done. But people are cowards. Anyway.
Yeah, instead we got the Halo show.
Shut up, bro.
Man. Don't remind me.
Bro, are we going to continue this topic or are we going to
So,
jump again?
no, speaking of that, I do have
Forward
one
Unto
thing to
Dawn.
tell you.
Forward Unto Dawn is a good movie, and anybody who says otherwise they don't get it. Forward Unto Dawn is a good fucking movie, and I will stand on this hill.
Speaking of hills, that's actually one of the fucking topics I had.
Oh, I
which
have
was,
one more before
what
we
is
move
a...
on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra.
Oh,
Oh, brother.
And I would
this
change
guy
only
straight.
one thing that would make the entire series better.
I'm listening, and I think I know what it is.
Make Korra emotionally aware.
Yes! Thank God!
And that will fix the entire fucking series.
Korra's entire shit is, I'm the Avatar, I can do this on my own. Guys, I need help.
No.
It's
Let
not
me,
the entire series, but it's
let me
most of
take
it.
what you just said, and let me simplify it. Okay,
No,
hold
I'm
on.
serious.
To fix Legend of Korra, the one thing we need to do is to clear out Korra's fucking earwax so she listens to the fucking people around her when they tell her, hey Korra, don't do that.
We have a plan.
Well,
We have a plan.
we all come up with this plan. We're gonna follow this plan. And
Call the
Korra says,
fucking plan.
yeah. And then she sneaks out in the middle of the night. I'm not gonna say this happens all the time, but she sneaks out, gets captured because she's
She does it 10
overestimating
times
herself.
throughout the show, by the way.
She's overestimating herself, and then like she gets. First of all, I don't know how she gets caught, because you're a master of 3 elements, and you get your ass whooped. Don't know how, but whatever. And then like you're like, well, shit went to the fan. Yeah, because you didn't listen to the plan. You got
Honestly,
poisoned
I
because
don't
of
know
this
why
shit.
they chose to do that. Why did they decide to make her start with 3 already mastered?
Oh, because
You know?
it was already in the comments. It was already in the comics, bro. That's why.
Kind of answer.
It was.
Well, it's-
I'm sorry to
It's
tell
an excuse
you.
to be lazy
one of-
is what it is.
No,
it
it's
is one of the
genuinely-
things of they're in an era of peace. She has time to be fully trained before she needs to be doing Avatar
Genuinely,
shit.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Korra's fucking shit was already written in stone before the other Avatar ended.
I see.
This is not the
Okay.
comic.
Pizza has joined.
Pizza
I
has
don't-
muted himself. It is okay.
Cool.
Okay, I don't have a PvP for him, so yeah.
Test.
Yes,
Hi,
we're doing
it's
something
Pizza.
right now.
We're in the middle
We're
of
recording right now.
podcast.
Oh, my bad.
Right. Sorry.
You're
It's all
good.
But
Um,
I will say there is a reason why they gave her that much, and it is because she was supposed to be the calamity.
I see.
Korra,
Wow.
usually an avatar is only brought up when the world is going to be in turmoil. Aang didn't die that far from Korra being Avatar, which means that some shit was very fucked.
Oh.
Mhm.
So Korra was potentially going to be the calamity that broke everything. Didn't know she'd
I see.
fuck it up that bad though.
Well, we'll see when the new series comes out. But
Which is why the new Avatar doesn't have that kind of because she was also written a long time ago as well.
Mhm.
Anyway,
but
you were
but
saying.
let's die on some hills.
yeah, so the next topic that I have was, what is a hill? What is a take that you have that you will die on? This is your hill to die on.
A billion light. No.
Yeah, don't bring it up.
I would like to go first.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Jason Todd, my boy, the Red Hood, deserves a lot better than he gets.
I feel like this is just an agreement.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I feel like
this is a hot take.
I feel like he should have beat Joker with the same crowbar that he beat him with, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like Joker should have died.
I believe Batman, in his own need to be moral, has jeopardized his son's life.
Adopted, so
Hits his son.
It's fun.
His son.
Don't fucking say that ever again.
And I will always be on the hill of Jason fucking Todd had a goddamn point. And will continue to have his goddamn point.
Yes.
I will say that it is it is interesting that he embodies the Batman should just kill the Joker argument, and that's also like it's an interesting theme to explore just in general with superheroes, but
Well, the thing about it is that it's not just his own ideology. Almost every person in the Bat family feels the same way.
Almost.
Almost.
But here's the thing.
I know.
Jason Todd. If Bruce did what Jason would expect to do and kill the Joker, he would have been upset that Bruce finally let go of his morals for him, a street rat.
Which is why he wants to do it.
It's why he wants to do the burden for him.
Same reason with if I remember, it's the same reason why Alfred also.
yeah, Alfred scares me.
Alfred
scares everyone.
Alfred's best.
Should scare you.
Alfred has a dream where he takes a 12 gauge to fucking Joker's
Every
cranium
night.
and pulls the goddamn trigger every goddamn night.
Every night.
And
He
he's
was
had
a-
that same dream ever since Jason died.
He was SAS or something too.
He
could
is.
just
He's
do
fast.
it.
Yeah. He is.
Okay, so that's halves. What about the rest of it? What
I don't
hills
think
are
I
you
know
down
right
on?
now.
I know I have some. I'm just trying to think of them.
Like
I do have
know
another one.
bills.
I don't have one that y'all are gonna disagree on. That's kind of what I want.
I do have one, but it's very niche, and I don't think any of you would understand.
Explain what it is first, then talk about it.
It has okay. Another comic creator, The Pain of the Red, has a very good argument that I believe in personally. And I understand this argument. Batman did not handle the situation with Jason Todd and the Joker as well as Vlad Tepes dealt with him almost murdering his own
You
son.
know what? I would die on that hill with you, brother, because he didn't even like falter or waver at
No,
all. No matter what
When-
iteration of Jason Todd died, he didn't fucking like mourn over him as hard as you think he should have.
no. And especially, he didn't, in the end of that situation, he didn't compromise his own morals so that his son could heal.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that. He kind of stuck to his own. It's
Which-
even if
In Dracula's show, the Netflix show, as he's killing Alucard, realizes, what am I doing? I'm killing my baby boy.
well, it's worse after he throws him into his childhood room
Yeah.
of things that he made with his own hands
Hands.
and kind of like hitting the consequence of
This is
I sealed my
Alucard
son
is the
away.
epitome of everything his wife and him ever achieved, and he's killing him.
Basically, and he's killing him, which is just a detriment to what his wife believed in, which he just realized that he's thrown away so that he could kill himself.
Yeah. And then he lets Alucard kill him, so that his son can live.
It was more of a he wasn't like in the right headspace.
No, but that's where the moment of
That
clarity
is-
is, and they were
that
both
is-
in that situation. Just one didn't do objectively the right thing.
Yeah, and then it's the whole thing of, well, let's bring him back, and he's like, well, no, I've already done what I had to do. Leave me alone. I did bad. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I have a funny hill to die on.
A little
Yeah.
funny hill.
A
Okay.
funny one. A little funny hill. I think that Lift Reshi of Ruby Shattered Colors fame,
That nobody
Should have-
watching this.
and nobody
Will
watching
ever
this
have
is ever gonna
context here.
understand, but we all know
We all know.
that character should have been the leader of Team Vault. It would have
I
changed
agree.
the name.
I don't
But
think
she should've
anyone
been the
would
leader.
disagree. I don't think anyone would disagree with you.
I don't
I
think
can
you
of one person who
understand.
would, but
No, I think even he would be okay with it because he specifically said he wanted somebody else to be the leader so that his character.
Yeah, but
could learn.
that doesn't give him the justification of not being one, though. You know?
I mean,
That's my funny hill to die on.
That's not a
that
hill to die
she-
on, bro. That's a hill that
Uh,
everyone is
I'm not-
on except
That's
for
a
one
plateau
person.
that everyone is sipping tea on together.
Honestly,
with a
bringing
back
in
hit.
our RPs for this actually makes this kind of funny. So everyone think
Yeah,
about that
but-
real hard.
Yeah, but no
okay,
one's gonna
so
have
if
the
we're bringing the
context to
RP
it.
stuff into, if we're bringing the RP stuff into this, then
Our
I'm gonna
D&D
say that.
sessions. Don't make these people think that we text RP, please.
Well, we used to,
That
You know
but
you
not
can
anymore.
the hill that I will die on, if we're bringing in the D&D stuff, is that turning invisible to fight that thing was actually not a bad move.
Wait, what? Which one are we talking
So
about?
this was the
Uh,
Monster Hunter campaign.
Oh,
It was
okay.
actually the last fight of the Monster Hunter campaign. We were up against Xeno'jiva,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
and my character
What I was
actually
trying-
told
so-
everybody.
There was a plan, everybody else was working together, and my thought process, right, was I'm going to turn invisible, flank this guy, and help everybody out that way. That was my thought process.
Which is a good thought process.
It was, but it
Problem
had
is,
the
this thing had
invisible.
true sight, and I didn't know that until it hit me.
And half decided to use a
Literally.
legendary action to hit him early.
Listen.
So,
He walked
it's-
right in front of its face too.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like it's funny, but the hill I will die on is that it was not a bad move.
It was great.
No, with the information you had, not a bad move.
It was. I love that moment though.
It's
Uh,
funny.
Not a bad, not a bad move indeed.
Yeah, it's funny, but
Uh,
I will die on that hill.
as for me,
Chase?
a hill
Oh,
I
sorry.
would die on. People who say that casters are better than marshals simply do not know how to play marshals.
Oh, honestly,
D&D
It's-
did?
Yeah, it's
I-
a D&D take. I think
so
it's like
the whole thing is like a lot of people will say like, oh, a blade singer could beat a barbarian.
at that point it's a
Motherfucker.
skill issue, though. It's a question
Yeah.
of skill at that point.
It's motherfucker, it's the difference between somebody who has out the fucking wazoo AC versus dude that hits heavy and tanks shit.
Yeah,
Like-
but then here's the thing that they say, like, if I go, well, I'll just play Totem of a Bear Barbarian, I'll just continuously reckless, and they're like, well, that's not fair. Like, that's
Yeah,
the
like-
mechanic.
No,
These
that's how that works.
the people who say this will be like, will describe their very in-depth, very overpowered build, and then the second be like, oh, I picked Totem with the Bear. No, that's so unfair. Yeah,
because it's the count. If you want to make a barbarian that crushes 99% of any D&D spellcaster, just play Totem of Bear. That's all.
Totem of the
And if you want to
Bear
make it
is
even
so
worse,
good.
just play a what's the fucking race that's resistant to psychic damage? Okay.
Ganassi? No, Ganassi fucking
No,
Gifo.
the Ganassi. No,
One of those two,
Gif?
one of those
it's
two.
not
It's
Kalishtar.
Yankee.
Githyanki? No, College Star. College Star.
Kalishtar. You play a
Kalishtar.
Kalishtar Totem of Totem Bear Barbarian, and that's literally it. You don't. There's nothing that could fucking touch you.
Yeah,
There are ways to like
oh, you
power
summon.
game either side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just like, oh, what are you gonna do when I send you to another dimension? Well, I'll return
Wait
after
a
a
minute.
minute.
I'll
I'll
when
wait
I
again.
die, I'll either wait a minute, or I'll get banished back.
Okay,
Or
since
make
we're
the save
doing,
while I'm in the pocket dimension.
since we're doing
Yeah.
D&D hills,
Yeah.
the hill I will die on is that the rogue class is the best class in D&D, and I will die on this hill.
No.
I'm not gonna
No,
disagree.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm just gonna say I'm just
I
gonna
agree,
add the
but I hate it.
caveat. I'm just gonna add the caveat that there is also the question of skill, though.
Yeah.
Rogue goes
Rogue-
well with a lot of things.
Rogues start
Yeah, it
with
does.
more skills, they get expertise, they get cunning
Level 2
action,
drop in rogue is
they
always
get
a good thing.
evasion, they get
Evasion
they
is just
essentially
strong.
get lucky at a certain level, and then they also get protection from like mind fuckery as well at a higher
They
level.
get like starting off, like if you're gonna multi-class and have Rogue be in your multi-class build and you're starting from level 1, take level 1 as your Rogue. I don't care if you only get 8 HP plus your con mod. I don't care if you're trying to do a barbarian build. Fuck you. Take the Rogue, get your shit, and run.
A bunch of other
Speaking about that, I actually do have a hill on that. And that is, I don't think it's necessary for multi-class to be a thing.
Yeah,
Oh no, you don't need multi-classing.
Yeah, that is a hill I will die on, because every time
I will die on
play,
is I don't like multitasking.
Every time I've tried to play a multi-class character and then I look at my shit, I'm like, I will be losing so much if I even take 3 levels.
I feel like
of
multi-classing shouldn't be allowed. That's my hill.
I feel like it.
I love the multi-class only if it's RP based.
I do feel like multi-classing should be allowed, but I do feel like it needs to be in the case of where you can get benefits from both things. I personally don't think
multi-class should be allowed. That's my hill to die on. And I will probably die on this hill 10 toes down.
That limits so much because
I can't say that because I have made
your subclasses.
I have made NPCs that do really well with multi-class. I just can't see myself doing
There are
it.
fun multi-classes that exist. For starters,
I am aware that fun multi-classes exist. But if you open up the gate, just like Korra did, when you open up the spirit gate and you let the good spirits out, you also let the bad spirits out.
Bro, don't bring up
If
Korra
you
again,
open
please.
up the gate, shut the fuck up. If you open up the gate of multi-classing, you bring the good multi-classes and the bad multi-classing.
yes, but at that point, it's up to the DM to be like, no, you don't get to do that.
Not every DM is gonna do that, which is that.
You have to be aware
I got a
that
hill to die on that has something to relate with this.
Yeah, the thing is, right, Sam, that you have to understand is that people are gonna make stupid ass builds with multi-classing that completely breaks the D&D 5e mechanics, right? And sure, it's up to the DM, but what if the DM doesn't know better? And they let that shit slide.
That's a learning experience.
I will let you have this hill, but I personally love multi-classing.
My hill that relates to this. Hold on. My hill that relates to this. They need to bring prestige classes back.
Yeah, actually, that is it. They do need to bring prestige classes back, but I think they need to be limited.
They need to be certain prestige classes because prestige classes are just enhanced versions of your base class, which give it more flavor. That's why I love the fucking Dragon Disciple in Pathfinder.
Hold on,
I had so much fun with that. I was a blood rager barbarian for a while, and then once I started taking Dragon Disciple, my whole build got even more powerful. All of the things that I wanted to use my natural weapons became better.
Here's the thing, it's Pathfinder though.
I found one for 5e and it still works.
Pathfinder demons there.
Don't worry about it.
Dude, I literally watched a thing and someone was like, please, listen, you're giving me a bad rap.
Okay. Drag.
Yeah.
Literally, the character I am playing in Star's game is a multi-class.
I'm aware.
Bro, listen.
He could be a hypocrite.
It's a hill that we're gonna die on. I'm sorry.
Multi-classing.
You will not convince me to get that. I say that as someone who plans to multi-class queer, but I will die on this hill.
I kid you not, every time I feel like multi-classing, I look at my character and I'm like, it's not really worth it though.
I'm not saying that isn't a valid argument. I'm just saying that you should allow multi-classing because there are caveats.
My thing is
listen,
that's fair game.
Puts hand on your shoulder, chin gets a little bit bigger. Listen, Why do you think there's custom classes in my games?
Listen. As a DM, I don't mind doing that for NPCs.
Because your settings require custom classes. You don't do normal fantasy D&D. You don't do sci-fi D&D. You do in-worlds pre-established with their own systems that we're adapting for D&D. That's why you do custom classes.
Yeah, but
I do
even
custom
if
classes because I just want people to.
I just want you guys to be able to customize your stuff. First, like, listen. The reason why people multi-class is so that they can make a certain build that they have in mind, right? That's the main reason why people multi-class. At that point, just make a custom class for yourself. Just make a homebrew class at that point.
I do it to theme.
Yes,
That's the whole point of my multi-class is to make a theme.
Multi-classing is just all about themes at the end of the day, truly. Because
Yeah, I guess.
like,
but my argument still remains. At that point, just make your own class that fits your theme.
Oh my. Well, listen. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone steeps their tea like same way. You know.
I'm not saying
everyone's
that
gonna
your
start the
arguments are invalid or that you don't have a point. I'm just saying.
Not everyone
the
is
hill I'm on.
accustomed to making a class.
I know.
Well,
I'm aware.
Just
I
sitting
listen.
here listening to all this.
I
and
understand.
don't have a
I
say in
understand
this.
that you're. I understand that you're like not everyone's stuff, but then when they're like, "Hey," and then you go, "Just make a class," it's kind of fucking, you know.
I know not everyone has the ability to make a class, right?
Yeah.
You know, even though, you know, internet's free, Google's free, you know, you can just learn that shit.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that everybody's
Intelligence
as
is not,
ambitious.
though.
It doesn't mean everybody is as ambitious, or it's gonna fit their current needs, man. So you having the answer of just to make a class isn't a solution. It's just your opinion, which is valid.
It is a solution for those who have the ambition to do so.
it's more like for those who have the
Right.
knowledge to do so. It takes time to learn these things.
You can't just jump into that shit.
Time game.
Yeah. And you need ambition to learn, do you not?
To a degree,
Yeah.
Well, you
but it's
also need
also
time.
Which is
time. Time is the biggest issue here.
Am I
It's experience.
fucking crazy? Because I did say not everyone has the ambition to do so, and then he's
Yeah,
like,
and
"They
that-
get ambition." I'm like,
No, I didn't say get ambition. You said that my answer wasn't a solution, and I said it is a solution for
Yeah,
those with
I
the
said-
ambition to do it. There is
I said
no
it's not
single
I said
solution. There is no
I said
single
it's not
solution
a
to everything.
solution, but it is valid, is what I said.
I know.
You took
And
one
I s-
thing. Yeah.
I know, and
So-
I said it is a solution for those who have the ambition to do it.
Yeah, but not everyone's gonna fucking want to do it.
Hey,
and I
gang,
accept
we've
that.
been at this for 3 hours.
Bro,
What
forget
else?
this.
Let's- I was in
Podcast
7
last
minutes.
An hour.
Next topic. I'm not doing this anymore.
I mean, Reese, did you put I feel that you could die on?
Yeah, the people who say the casters are better than marshals simply don't know how to play marshals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
his,
that's what started this. I'm not gonna lie.
If outside of D&D, my hill to die on is that dogs are better pets than cats, and I'll stay on this hill.
I don't like
While
Okay.
while I
Okay.
understand where you're coming from, as a person who's only ever had cats, I am biased towards cats.
Have you owned a cat before?
No.
Okay, moving on. Next topic.
Yeah,
That's all I
that's
need to
the
hear.
difference. That's the difference.
But the thing is, I have never personally owned a cat, but I've been with family members who have cats, and cats like
But
me. I just think dogs
you've been
are
around.
better.
You've been around a cat for more than like 48 hours.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've lived with a cat. I
Next
haven't owned a
topic.
cat. It belonged to
topic.
somebody else.
Next topic.
Anyways,
So what to say,
the
so
last topic. Does he? Just kind of just making noises.
Pizza. Yes.
So regarding the last topic regarding cat, I have been living with Soba for like 2 years. He can be a bit harmful.
Does that mean
Harmful, kind of.
does that mean you regret having him, or is that just like a added thing?
More like an added thing, saying he's well, he is technically my sister's cat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Listen, I have no beef with cats. I just think dogs are better, and that's where I'm gonna end it. Last
Okay, yeah,
topic
that's true.
for the night.
Hmm.
This is generally the last topic I have here on my list.
Mm.
What's your favorite theory?
Like conspiracy theory?
Any
Ooh.
theory. It can be a game theory, a novel theory. What is your favorite theory?
Ooh,
Okay.
I could tell you right
Okay.
now. I could tell you right now.
Okay.
I knew it was a good idea to keep this for the last one. Well, actually, no,
I'm
I
gonna have
did
to
have
look
one
this
more,
one
but
up
we can do
because
that next time. I
There's
guess
a
it
very
depends on
good
how fast we go
theory.
through this.
There's a very good theory that that keeps coming back on my feed that I really do like, and it is the theory that Inspector Gadget isn't the real Inspector Gadget. When he got into the accident, his body was so in disrepair that they couldn't fix it. So they basically made a robot double of his, uploaded all his memories, and didn't tell his niece. And that Dr. Claw is the real Inspector Gadget because he's basically upset that this robot has taken over his life. And because of the accident, his voice has gotten a lot raspier, and he's basically built himself up from scratch.
I do like that
Which
theory.
kind of makes a lot of sense of why he's chasing Gadget and why he only focuses on Gadget and not anyone else around him.
I like that theory. I like the theory a lot. It has grounds to stand up.
Mine is very simple.
Okay.
If I have the floor.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So, in Fallout New Vegas, there's an NPC called No Bark. No Bark is a insane homeless person.
You have my attention.
He is believed to be insane because he has taken too many rat scorpion stings to the head, which has caused a lot of neurological issues. The prevailing theory about No Bark is that he is actually the Chosen One, which is the first protagonist in Fallout 1, who was, at the end of the game, is banished into the wasteland from his vault because apparently he is too violent, even though he saved them. This is believed to be true because one of the developers made a mod that turns a code on in the files in which you can find the wrecked I forget what it's called, but it is a wrecked car where you can find a Vault 13 jumpsuit and a pistol. The Highwayman is the vehicle's name, which the Vault 13 jumpsuit is the same Vault 13 jumpsuit that is shown that the Chosen One has. And that is my crackpot theory that I really believe in.
That's a good theory.
You
Also, let me get a picture of No Bark real quick.
What about you, Sam?
So many years ago at this point, when Five Nights at Freddy's Pizza Simulator, or more commonly known as FNAF 6, was released. And it was deemed the kind of end cap of the series or at least in that era of FNAF. Before we had all the information we do now, there was a theory. There was a theory that was slowly getting found out as the community kind of like dug through, found the proper information. Especially when Ultimate Custom Night came out. The theory that prevailed was that William Afton, Lib Purple guy, that guy, was effectively trapped in a permanent purgatory by one of the children that he had killed. The one that inhabited Golden Freddy. Cassidy, which the name took a while to figure out, but
yeah, I'm a big snaf head myself.
Yeah, the prevailing theory at that time was that, but we didn't have all the information we do now. But even still, with the information we have now, it's practically confirmed. But the prevailing theory then was that. But also that FNAF World was happening kind of simultaneously. Like, both of those games were happening effectively at the same time on the timeline. And two different things were happening. William was getting tortured for all the sin that he did effectively. And all of the spirits that were still kind of trapped there were getting released via FNAF World. And I don't know why, but that is just a very compelling theory to me that we've never really been able to confirm, but it has become kind of the prevailing theory about that, part of the timeline. And I really truly believe in it, just because it makes sense, especially if you've been following FNAF as long as I have been from the very beginning.
Yes, sir.
God, 2014 was a very long time ago.
We were popping the fuck off.
Yeah, but
that's a really good theory. I like that.
Yeah, that theory has kind of always stuck with me after Matt Pat kind of like chucked it into the atmosphere and people were like, I don't know about this. And then over time, it's just been slowly, steadily, more and more evidence has been piling up.
I have two in mind, but I'm gonna go last because one of them is actually kind of like
long.
I'll go last.
Okay. What about you?
Sans' Ness. No, I'm joking.
Sans' Ness.
That's a crackpot theory. That's what
That's a crack theory.
Yeah, that's a fucking
And what did you see when we were at?
In Sans' laboratory. A white blanket covering the machine.
But no, the theory I really enjoy is a One Piece theory. That in order for all of the Straw Hat Crew's goals to be achieved, they have to destroy the Grand Line. Well, destroy the Red Line.
Oh.
Because that will connect all the seas to create the all blue, allow doctors to travel for to learn all the medicines of the world, best chart the world.
I thought you were going to use the other theory.
who died?
That was Uzak.
I said that was the bot, yeah.
I thought you were going to go with the crocodile theory.
Oh, no.
Which kind of makes a lot of sense.
I love the crocodile is Luffy's mom theory.
Crocodile may be Luffy's mom theory. Yeah.
That is a genuine theory people have.
Well, it's a genuine theory because it is a thing.
Because there's
Crocodile
substance to it.
He did change his gender.
Mom part.
No, there isn't. But it is the fact that he was in the same.
Let me break down the theory real fast. Okay.
I guess fuck me then. Sorry.
Let me break it down real fast, and then you can say what you want to say. Just for Moth's sake. All right. Moth, basically, in One Piece, there is a character called Uranka, and their devil fruit allows them to change the gender of people, right? And Crocodile, who is one of the main antagonists at one point,
I do happen to know who he is, so
yes. Uh, there is a theory that, well, it is confirmed but theorized that Crocodile was originally female and changed their gender to male so they could be taken more seriously as a pirate. And we speculate that before the sex change, Crocodile went with Luffy's dad, who we know is Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and that they gave birth to Luffy and their Luffy's mom. The reason people suspect this is because of Crocodile's, well, what they say Crocodile's sudden behavior change during Annie's lobby when he went out of his way to save and protect Luffy. So they're saying that, well, that's kind of weird that Crocodile all of a sudden, for some reason, wants to protect Luffy.
I mean, there could be plenty of other reasons, though.
Could be.
Last time you saw Crocodile, he quite literally beat the living shit out of him. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was a very sudden tone shift. And this only happened after, I think it was it announced that Luffy was Dragon's son?
It was after it was announced that Luffy was Dragon's son.
Yeah, after Luffy it was announced that Luffy is Dragon's son, Crocodile's like behavior towards Luffy shifted. So that's where the fan theory came from. Like, oh, why does Crocodile all of a sudden care about Luffy like that?
So the cynic in me says there could be plenty of other reasons for that.
We don't know who Luffy's mom is.
To be honest.
So
we don't know Luffy's mom is. But there is no reason for him to go out of his way to help the man that quite literally broke down his entire industry in like a week.
Technically speaking, the only reason they were able to do that is because Sanji tricked Crocodile on the phone. Bro,
when he finds out, he's gonna be so upset.
he's gonna want to kill Sanji so fast.
Because up to this day, he still hates him. By the way.
Oh, 100%. Sanji's the reason why he lost. He truly lost in the end.
I forgot the name. What name he said?
Mr. Prince.
Yeah, Mr. Prince. Which makes it even worse because Sanji is a prince.
Yeah, Sanji is an actual prince. But
gross.
Reese, you said that your theory was the Straw Hats destroy the Red Line.
Yeah.
To achieve their dream. I can see that.
It also goes on to say that destroying the Red Line means the One Piece is the One Piece of the world.
I've heard some One Piece theories that the One Piece is a storybook.
I think you're thinking about Fairy Tail.
No.
Wrong anime?
No. There's a One Piece theory.
That's effectively with everything.
There's a One Piece theory.
Is a storybook. It's quite literally in the description.
There's a One Piece theory that the One Piece itself is a storybook that tells the story of the adventures or the happenings of what happened in the world, like that's happening right now, basically. Like a children's storybook that explains what happened during the lost or the dark history, like that point in time where knowledge of what happened before was completely wiped, essentially. Which I think is pretty okay. But since Moth said he wants to go last, I'll share some of my favorite theories. The Majora's Mask theory. I have a lot of Zelda theories that I like. The Majora's Mask theory that Link is dead and he's
Oh yeah, that's a good
going
one.
through the seven um the seven stages of grief in Majora's Mask. And he's like in purgatory going through them, bargaining, sadness, anger. But is it 7 stages or 5 stages? I think it's 5 stages of grief, right? Five, yeah. Anger,
It's
sadness, bargaining, acceptance,
anger, denial, bargaining. It's a 5 stage, right?
Yeah, 5 stages.
Sadness, denial, anger, bargaining, and acceptance.
And then acceptance. I think it has ground to stand on. I think it's a really good theory. I really like the Majora's Mask. Link is dead during Majora's Mask thing. I think it's a very good one. The other Zelda theory that I have that I really like is that the tutorial night in Twilight Princess is Link, the old Link from a failed timeline. That he failed to defeat Ganon, so his last wish was to preserve his hero spirit so that he is able to train the Link that comes after him. And a lot of that is backed up by how both Links, how they wield their sword in the same hand, and how he, like, in some of the lines, he's very like remorseful of, oh, he couldn't do, like, save people in the past and whatnot. It's a really good theory, and I like it a lot. I like a lot of the.
I think I've heard of that one. Yeah.
I like a lot of the Zelda theories. I'm a big Zelda head fan. Love me a good Zelda theory. There was one last one I had, but I think I forgot. I think it was a FNAF theory, but I think I'm good. I think those are like the ones that came to mind immediately. Other than the ashes in a coma theory.
Are we in the 4 mark already? Because it's
3.5.
What 3 hours 26 minutes? Anyways, go ahead, Moth.
Okay, so one that's a kind of.
Wait, pizza didn't get to go.
Oh, pizza has one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
so my favorite theory, it's a Halo one.
Oh hell yeah!
The Needler, like how the heck did the crystals like get shot out with a gun in the first place?
Oh, you're talking about the physics of the needler gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like my theory is it's more or less it more or less is a theory I learned from watching YouTube. That the needle like turns into gas, and then when it came out of the gun, it solidifies back into a crystal.
That's yeah, actually, that's
Okay.
a good one because the needle does go down and then come out, which is not how a gun works.
So
Would make
really
sense
at
if it was a
all.
gas system and then it
And then it
crystallizes as it exits.
recrystallizes. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very fitting for
And-
Pizza's theory to be based around a gun.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
sure, but
also, there's also a
What
possibility that for one, the needle also contained no moving parts, so it's likely that the needles the needle is using some sort of magnet.
Yeah, I can
magnets. Okay.
I can see the needles of the needler being kind of like having some material in them that it can be affected by magnetism, and then it kind of rail gunning outwards as it recrystallizes.
It would explain why it homes in on things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Before Moth goes, I did remember what was the other one. It's a SpongeBob theory that
Oh boy.
that I personally enjoy. Is a SpongeBob theory that Patrick used to be a supervillain in the past because Mermaid Man, being the senile person that he is, it's shown up multiple times in episodes that he will shout evil whenever he feels that he senses evil. All right, but evil, but note in a lot of uh episodes where Mermaid Man is in, right, he despite being senile, his evil senses are quite sharp, right? He can tell when someone has ill intention, right? And when you notice that whenever Patrick is around, that sense goes off. He kind of goes crazy, starts saying evil, right? But the thing that really tips you off that maybe he's not so like crazy is we all know the meme. Well, you have it set to M for mini when it should be set to W for Wombo.
For Wumbo.
For Wombo. Only Mermaid Man, maybe Barnacle Boy, should know that. SpongeBob being a number one Mermaid Man fan, not knowing that Mermaid Man should be able to you should be able to set that for Wombo doesn't make a lot of sense. So why does Patrick know that the belt can be set to Wombo? He probably knows because he's seen it been used. And the only way he could seen it being used is if he was one in the presence of Mermaid Man when he used it, or two, it was used against him. And there's also the video games where there's an evil Patrick, a evil like super villain Patrick. That's like the main villain of the some of the one of the games, and I think at the end it's revealed that the entire game is just one of Patrick's dreams. So yeah, that's one of my favorite SpongeBob theories. That in the past,
Dreaded Patrick.
in the past, Patrick was a supervillain, and that's why. Because if you think about it, right, he's very fucking strong. If you look at Patrick's feats, Patrick is very strong, and the final nail in the coffin, and I'll hear, is that in the world of SpongeBob, being able to quote unquote swim, or in this context, fly, is only reserved for superpowered individuals. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy can do it. Some of the other villains can do it. But do you know who else is the only other person in the series that is shown to be able to do that? Patrick.
Guessing Patrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my TED Talk. Patrick is a quote unquote super being, and he may or may not have been a supervillain in the past. And that's why he keeps activated Mermaid Man's PTSD.
This honestly, that actually kind of dovetails into my first favorite theory, which is the Darth Jar Jar theory.
God, I love Darth Jar Jar. It was so planned. It was so goddamn planned. It was perfect. The first movie, the first prequel, it's so clear.
Yeah, there's a lot of suspicious activity in there that is probably deliberate. So
And then apparently everybody hated Jar Jar, I guess. And then fucking George scrapped it.
You know,
just cowardice.
George did take from a very specific book.
Yeah, there's also I forget the title of the book, but I think the character
Where the
was
jester
the jester. Yeah,
the jester was literally the mastermind the entire fucking time, and he
And
played the idiot so well.
And
yeah,
it's like,
and I just kind of
in-
love that archetype in general. So that I like that theory a lot.
isn't it also like in the continual, like in all three of the prequels, there's evidence pointing to it.
Yes,
It's so good.
supposedly there is.
It's such a good theory.
So that's my first one. The reason I wanted to go last is because my second one is actually a real life theory.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I suspect that one of my coworkers
Okay.
is related to Callie, and neither of them know.
Brother,
Why do you say
this is
that?
recorded.
That
I
can
know.
be edited out. It can be...
No,
Bro.
I don't. So I think
I don't think
this
this is
is
gonna
a
be edited.
theory of mine. What?
I might hand it over to
I don't
Sam.
think this. Oh, are you gonna edit this? I don't think you should. I think this is gold.
Yeah, brother, I'm sorry. I ain't touching this.
This is
You
like
know what?
almost
Fair.
4 hours long, dude. It's
I
a
will
podcast. It's meant to
hand
be
it.
mistake.
I will hand it over raw. I'll upload this raw.
That's what it's meant
I
to
won't
be.
even listen
were-
back to the VOD. I'm just
If
gonna
we
upload it raw.
were, like, here's the thing. If we were like each separately recording our own voice tracks, that way it would be like synced up and we could like mute people so we wouldn't be talking over each other, that sort of thing, like a professional thing. That's different. I would do that. But it's not.
We
It's
haven't reached that
also
stage yet, and we don't need to be professional. Anyways, go ahead.
this is also something that I genuinely don't mind being out there because there's a possibility I could be wrong. But this coworker in particular, I recently learned was um, adopted from a orphanage in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
and there are some suspicious timeline things that just line up a bit too well. Is all I'm gonna say.
Been lining up a little bit too well. You know what?
Yes.
I
It's
don't
also
blame you.
it's also a known fact that Callie's biological dad was
Ah, say
well
say
A
say no
piece of
more.
shit.
Say no
that,
more. Say
and
no.
yeah, he's been to a lot of places.
He kind of be
He's seen the
slinging
world.
that thing
They
around.
call him the Wanderer.
He's seen the
roaming
world.
around.
They
Papa
call
was
him
a
a lot
Rolling
of
Stone,
things,
they
but
say.
anyway, that's my second theory, my real life theory.
Oh. I did remember my third theory. Well, not my third theory,
No.
like a last one. One that
Yeah.
I personally think should have been canon and would have made this entire series better.
Hmm.
All for One being Deku's dad
Ooh.
would have made the
Yeah.
series. Because remember, he promised that at the end of My Hero, we would see Deku's dad. And everyone was theorizing, oh my gosh, what if Deku's dad was One for All? What if that the reason why Deku's mom doesn't talk about Deku's dad and says that he's away on business is because you know, All for One has a bunch of quirks. You know, he has a quirk that can make him look young and disguise himself or whatever, right? He could have been with Deku's mom he could have been born, and maybe he was born with a pretty good quirk, and then fucking All For One is like, oh, nice quirk, my son, yoink. And that's why he was quirkless. And two, maybe Aiko doesn't talk about Deku's dad because he wasn't fucking around. He hit it and then quit it. And I just think narratively it would have been very cool, very thematic that All For One helped create the very person that defeated him in the end, using the power he was trying to, that a blood related relative of his own brother, passed down over generations, and it finally connected right back to their own flesh and blood and used to defeat him. I think it would have been such a great ending.
It would kind of make sense why Midoriya was so easily able to access all the other bullshit that One For All had.
Mm-hmm.
Who says it was storing power that entire time and needed to do all that? It didn't need to do all that. It could have done that. It could have fucking released restraint level 0 for fucking All Might. All Might was it's strong enough to do that shit and tank it, right? It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't need to go past All Might, right?
Yeah.
Yet it did. And once it reached Midoriya, that's when all the shit unlocked.
That's when everything unlocked, and you have to think that maybe it's because, like, he inherited something from his father,
Similar genetics.
Where, because remember, One For All came from All For One. He gave his brother that quirk, gave his brother a quirk store in quirk, and his brother's quirk, which was the ability to give other people's quirks or pass his quirk down, both of them mixed together and created One For All. So it would have been so cool if through generations that quirk finally reached back to their descendants, and it's because Deku is All For One's son and he has his genetics of the original bearer. He was able to access everything. It would have tied everything together. It would have been so epic. It would have been so.
It's also a very anime thing to do.
Yeah, to defeat your evil father. Yeah. But I digress. We're gonna end things off here. The last topic I wanted to talk about was fandom versus fandom. If we were to take all the fandoms we can think of and throw them in a battle royale, which fandom do you think would reach would win? But I think that's a topic for next time.
Yeah,
I personally think those rabid individuals in the My Hero fandom would fare at least top 5. But
they would fare fairly well because there's some fucking demons in that.
We'll talk about this.
My Little Pony fandom.
Listen, they're creative, but I don't think they're built to fight.
There's a lot of them that are in the military.
Yeah, honestly, I think the furries win this one, but we'll talk about this more.
That's just a numbers advantage.
Next episode.
I'm not getting involved in that one.
No, it's okay.
I don't know.
It's alright.
I don't know. Well, no. If we're talking about the people that are in the fandom,
listen. Yeah, we'll talk about the people in the. But as I said, this next episode. Yes. Thank you for watching the Head Empty Cast. I'll see you whenever the next episode's recorded. All right.